pretty solid.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Matt Stone Ultimate Frisbee Indoor Podcast. We played Frisbee this last week, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. We got Josh, Mike, Kevin, TJ, Dan, Sammy Burke for his first appearance, and Scott Matzel returning after a brief hiatus.
Damn, who the fuck is this guy?
What?
You just took such a long pause to say something.
Well, I was trying to think about if I would like really hype him up and do like a full lead-in, and I kind of looked at him and went, nah.
Yeah, now it just came off as, who are you?
No, I know who he
I
is.
don't remember your name.
Good stuff. 2 weeks for Gabe representation. That's kind of wild. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about...
Oh, make the live announcement about the game change. I know it's already been said.
That's a great point. This week's games, the original schedule for week 8 is switching with the original schedule for week 9. So it's reflected currently on the online schedule. The only teams that are changing time slots are TJ's and Dan's. Every other team is going to be in the same time slot, just you're playing a different team. That's that.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple stuff. And since half the people don't know who they're playing anyways until they show up, it probably doesn't matter.
Good point. But, I don't know. Talk about last week?
Talk about last week. What was game 1?
One was...
That would have been...
Kevin Gabe.
Kevin Gabe.
Oh, that was...
Dude, you got fucking hand blocked. I don't mean to be rude, but that was gnarly.
The Fall of an Empire.
I watched it. Let me just say, like, and this is a full call out, right?
Yeah.
That, Johnny and Gabe just bring out the worst in each other.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Gabe had one stall count that I kid you not was 4.5 seconds.
Oh, I
and he
believe
called
it.
Stall on it.
I believe it.
Like, I swear, I don't know what, because they both, ran into each other on the wall, and I think what happened is Gabe started counting as Johnny was trying
As
to
it's
argue
flying
the foul.
in the air.
Yeah.
Stop 1, 2,
catches
Well, no,
this.
3, 4, 5.
They're talking out whether or not it was a foul. I think Gabe was counting that whole time. That's the only way it's even remotely reasonable. If not, he definitely counted in 4 seconds.
Were you the one that said to me mid-game, Sammy, you can count faster?
Yeah, no, you were giving him 10 seconds.
I would rather give them more
and
time,
that's exactly what I said actually.
a piece of crap, and go, stall 1, stall 2, stall 3, stall 4.
Right. I'd rather play against the guy who's wrong on that side than the guy who's wrong on the other. So it's not a big deal. But
No, hot take though, we only won because we mismatched Tony on every single time he was out there. We literally just put him on
Whoever could be a mismatch.
whoever could be a mismatch. Also, I think the only reason we won that game is because we cut back on your guys' dishbacks to Luke. That we actually made you come back and handle, I feel like. Because that second half was completely different than the first one.
Luke fucked up the reset 90% of the time.
Yeah.
We went over this. We talked about it. He screwed it up 90% of the time.
what did he do wrong specifically?
Just went in the wrong direction. Not where you're supposed to be for the reset.
Oh, so you don't mean him throwing a reset. You meant he wasn't where he needed to be for a reset.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went the wrong direction for the cuts. We talked about it. We've gone over all that.
Gotcha.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, your guys' play is a throwback to either probably Luke, and then a quick up to either you or Johnny, or who's ever upfield. Or am I misreading? Because that's what you guys did to us.
Totally
last week.
misreading.
Okay.
Are you still running actual plays, or is it just kind of general side stack movement?
One set play, and then general side stack movement.
Gotcha.
You definitely took a breath like you were about to say something.
Yeah, but I can be a polite human being
No, I
and
know.
not interrupt people. So
I just-
go on, Kevin.
One of our biggest things that I was trying to work on
Fuck
that
you.
game. Okay. One of the biggest things I was trying to work on that game was resets and moving the disc in the backfield
Yeah.
properly.
I saw a couple times where you and Matt were just dishing it back to each other. I'm like, they're running a practice out here right now.
100% was. I was like, Matt, you're gonna come back with me. We're gonna run through it.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I didn't do that with everyone, but I did that with Matt at least.
Yeah.
That's sort of the point of, this league in general, and then
Yeah.
specifically our change that everybody has playoff opportunity.
Yeah.
Gives everybody chances to do stuff like that during game. But
Did anyone keep track of how many foul calls there were?
I was
There were,
playing.
like-
I think there were shockingly few, but I think there were quite a few raised tensions.
There were like
was
3
at
or
least
4.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 4.
Really? Okay.
I
It definitely felt a lot more.
It
watching the
yeah,
game.
it felt like a lot more watching the game. The disc came back a ton and I think it's safe to say, I think 100% of the time, Gabe and Johnny were the ones calling the foul or calling something back. I don't know.
Gabe was playing very aggressive.
He was. I mean, he did say that his goal is to just knock Johnny off his game in some way, shape, or form because
Yeah, I heard Gabe was saying that he was gonna like specifically stop like play physical on Johnny because
Yeah.
no one never does.
yeah.
So
No, there was the one. Oh my goodness, there was a couple times though that like I was watching the video and just like I don't even know what Gabe and Johnny are doing. Like I see them talking to each other, but like they're off on the side and they're not running, and I'm like, what are they doing? Like there was literally a time where I think it was you or Luke had the frisbee, and I'm looking and I can see you looking at Johnny and Gabe and like looking for him to make a cut up field. And you just look, nope. Look, nope. Throw it back. But I don't know. That was also I've never seen Luke like actually seem serious about a game before,
really,
which was interesting.
I feel like he's
Especially
pretty
guard-
serious in general.
He got tilted very fast, very
Yeah.
early, and it just went downhill for him. He did not have a good game.
I need to watch this. I didn't watch the film. I need to watch it.
You want to record a session after this? We're watching the game.
Oh, that's watching. Sure. But
I think-
I guess what do you guys think? Like team wise, classic Scott question: did you lose the game or did Gabe
The
team win
Scott
the game?
question. The first time I asked
Yeah.
that question, I was making fun of it.
Oh, I know.
100%. I lost. that
I
game.
would agree. I think they lost the game.
Okay.
But I would also like to say that I honestly think, I don't know, the stats might say different, but I feel like I was the only person on our team that turned over the frisbee.
Right.
Can you go to week 7?
Your team was the team that did what?
I think I'm the only person on our team
tap,
that like
tap, tap, tap,
consistently turned over the disc,
Gotcha.
which, in my opinion, is a very good thing. Because, like, what?
Stats would argue otherwise.
Really?
Elliot's got 4, and then
Elliot, the turnover king.
and then pretty much the rest of you have 2.
But
I'm-
stats are garbage.
I'm not
It
gonna.
doesn't
I'm
mean
not gonna
anything.
lie. I had more than 3 turns. I had 4 turns. I counted them myself. I had 4 turns in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Well,
It's okay. I ended up getting just a turn. I got no D, but I got a turn for the buzzer beater.
No, I remember 3 Ds in my game. Like I rewatched my game and I got like 3 Ds and there's a 0 on there.
No,
But it's very clearly like me being
just
like,
like smack.
So I think the stats are pretty bad.
no, yeah. But also, I honestly think both. I think that should have been a higher scoring game than what it was, because I think, like, there was a couple times where I saw, I just Luke because I guarded him the most. I saw Luke throw the frisbee, and he threw it for a 50-50 with Gabe and Johnny, and I look over and I just see someone else on his team, like, wide open, but just not in the end zone.
Yeah.
And so I think there was a lot of discs thrown away also.
It does feel like with your team that a couple of the players have like a mental list of like,
Who to look
these are the
for,
people
yeah.
I throw to. These people, they could just kind of run around, I
Yeah.
guess.
So
Because there are several situations where someone was open for like a 25-yard under, and like either Luke or Johnny looked at them and was like, nah.
I honestly think, Kevin, you're
5-yard pass to Kevin.
yeah. So I got my team together and we went in a Discord yesterday and went over like the video and all that. And there's a point where Luke has the disc on the 4 side, close to the wall, getting closer to the wall. And he was telling me that he was upset that Beefcake came over behind him and you're completely open, but his defender was downfield still, clogging the lane. And he was upset that Beefcake's defender was blocking the open under that Matt could have had. And I just said, I'm like, why are you upset about that? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like,
There's a wide open
There's a
man.
wide open man. Why are you upset? He's like, explain to me why you're upset. And he just couldn't. I was like, just give it to wide open man. Like, you weren't even like, it wasn't even like, I don't remember who was guarding him, but
It was Tony.
they didn't even, no, not, I'm talking about who was guarding Luke on the mark.
Oh,
Because it wasn't an aggressive mark at
Yeah.
all. I think it was Smart Nick or something.
yeah.
So it was like an easy break. And he just got upset that Ben was completely open with no defender anywhere near him.
Yeah.
I was just like, what are you upset about?
Hitting the open hands is like it's one of those things that's almost like learning a forehand. It just, everybody like has to do it eventually, and they just takes a long time for them to do.
That's another thing that I think Beefcake was open in the end zone a lot, and the frisbee did not go to him.
Yeah, people did not take shots to him, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It sucks. One of the other things is Johnny didn't have like a horrible game, but he didn't have a good game either. Something that ended up happening with Johnny that I noticed is he played very timid against Gabe, and he waited for the disc while Gabe just attacked it in a lot of the spots. Like a lot of the places where Gabe got D's, if Johnny just takes a step forward and just goes through the disc, it eliminates at least half of Gabe's D's.
There's a lot of little things like that Johnny, like as good as he is, he just doesn't know because he's normally so fast and athletic that like it doesn't matter.
That he
But,
can
like,
wait for
when
it.
he's on like a more equitable matchup, it starts to become evident. Like, 'cause, like a lot of times he doesn't really make aggressive cuts. He just runs fast in a straight line. And he's like, well, he's open now. But against
nice diction.
There's one point in the game where I made a deep cut on Gabe was guarding me, and I made a deep cut on Gabe. I drew him under and went deep and just toasted Gabe and scored. And I looked at Johnny and I was like, Johnny, now that's how you make a deep cut.
Yeah, because Gabe's really good, but he bites on a lot of stuff.
Well, but the way Johnny likes to make his deep cuts, he likes just to out sprint the person.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine on a huge field.
Yeah.
On a small field, you can't do that.
Right.
You gotta make your defender commit one way and go the other.
Yeah.
Set up your guts.
The other thing that was different that how Gabe guarded Johnny that game was Gabe's I remember Gabe talking to me. He's saying that like we're gonna force Johnny short all game and not let him go deep. But then when we played you guys first time, Gabe still ended up getting beat like 5 or 6 times against Johnny deep. And so this game he said, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna guard Johnny short as well. And I'm just gonna make him like work for every single point he had, like every single frisbee he's gonna catch. And I think that's what you were talking about. Like
with him waiting.
Normally
for it.
there's no one on him because they're guarding deep. They're giving him so much space, and Gabe actually stepped up for once. Well, not for once, but yeah, Gabe, you suck.
This lazy bitch.
No, I get you. For once on Johnny.
Yeah.
Something that he's not used to. Gotta go to, baby.
Yeah, no. As a spectator on the sideline, it was definitely as someone who likes to stir the pot, it was definitely fun to just be there and scream affirmations to people who thought they were in the right. You know, and like I can't. It was like I can't remember exactly what happened, but like I think you just made a throw to John in the end zone, and like he called a foul on Gabe, and you were like, "No way in hell you thought that was a foul," and like you cracked for a moment. You were just like, "No fucking way."
Well, because it came back, and I was like, "There's no way that's getting contested right now. There's no way." Because from my angle, it looked like Gabe was on top of Johnny's back the entire time.
And so just to see the mental fortitude Kevin crumble on the field, oh, it was so good.
I mean, my mental fortitude didn't crumble. All I was is like, "There's no way this is getting contested."
Yeah.
I was just voicing what I did. I didn't play any different after that.
No, but
I stayed the exact same mental.
It was good to see.
Well.
Oh, and also one last thing. This last thing I'll say about the game is I think Matt had a great game.
Which one?
Marsic? On
There's only
Kevin's-
one Matt on
Yeah,
my There's
that's
only one Matt.
Oh, do you guys not? Oh, you're the team that doesn't have a Matt?
Yeah, we're the team that doesn't have a
Well,
Matt.
go get one.
Oh, on that topic as well, Christina would like to let it be known that she is transitioning her name to Matt.
To Matt. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Good
I'm
for
in.
her.
So she is now Matt. My team has a Matt. We will now succeed.
Okay.
Gabe seems doing pretty well without a Matt.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I think you're thinking this flaw well through.
Yeah.
No.
No, those little things are very important. Like I went out of my way
To change
to not wear not wear the team uniform this week. So like Kevin never wears a team uniform and he's pretty good. So I'm gonna give that a shot and see how it works.
No, but Matt
How'd it work?
Matt played a great
Pretty well, to
game.
be honest.
You know what's funny? It was our game. Like,
Yeah.
we played each other. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did not win. So
Yeah, maybe that's not why.
But the question is, how did you play?
Right.
I think I played okay. I definitely could have been better. Didn't make any really huge silly mistakes or anything, but yeah, I think I as an individual played pretty okay. I have no complaints.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just
No.
run all over whatever someone was saying.
No, I was just gonna say, Matt. I feel like Matt's not there a lot. Like he's missed a lot of weeks.
He's only missed
He's
what,
only
like one?
missed 2.
He's only missed 2. Okay, in my mind, he's missed
The
like
first time we played Gabe, and then
yeah.
I think like one time for COVID. And that was it.
He's a working man.
This is no offense to him, but like
think
I
he
didn't
really had to do
realize
his work.
he was that good at placing a frisbee. Because like there was 2 or 3 times where I was forcing hard wall, and he would flick it with a super hard angle and just perfectly place it in the back left of the end zone. I was like,
Both of Marsics are like surprisingly better than you think they would be.
And the crazy thing is, Tim's gotten way better in the last year, but he hasn't really
Played as
played
much.
it. It's like, what's going on there?
Maturity.
I
You know?
guess.
Oh, he's got that Masters player kind
Yeah.
of pizzazz.
Wisdom, you know? Sure.
I think one of the other big things, like going through the film about my game, is my team's force was ass.
Really?
it was horrible.
It was horrible. I was like, no one had a good force
So wait, did
Besides,
Downfield
like,
or on the mark?
on the mark.
Yeah.
Just the mark was just either straight up.
That's
or
the
just
easier of the
bad.
two.
Yeah,
like
the
even
easy one.
even early on in the game, or more
I-
so later in the game that it fell apart?
It definitely was like maybe like 5 points in this one. It started
Okay,
to fall apart.
so because you came on the pot, like I think Higgy said it was you were scapegoating it, and that like, oh well, we're just gonna try new things and learn for playoffs, and then Higgy's like, Kevin's saying that because he's gonna lose. He wants an excuse.
I was trying. I was focused
No,
on.
I'm well aware you were trying other things. Like it was very evident to look at the field and see what was happening.
I was trying to get Vince to understand stuff. I think going over the chat with you.
But
yesterday,
my question was, do you think that you conveyed that to your team and that like, hey, it's a kind of a likelihood we're going to lose this game because we're doing a bunch of new shit?
yes.
Okay, I thought maybe like the mentality of like, we're undefeated, I want to stay undefeated, and then you start losing, and then it's like, fuck.
No, I said we're gonna try some stuff. This is gonna be a tough game for us. We'll see how it goes. And then something like, I think we finally broke into Vince's mind a bit yesterday on how to play defense and how to it makes sense thanks to Mac.
The Iron Maiden that is Independence Frisbee.
Yeah. So there's one point where I paused it on the video and it's Christina.
Are you talking at me or like to us?
What do you mean?
I gotta pee, so I just gotta know. if I
I'm just
can-
talking to everyone. So there's one point in the video where I paused it, and it's Christina setting up in the end zone. Vince is directly underneath her, just not in any direction, just 90, like one in a vertical line.
Mhm.
And then the mark, and I forget who had the disc, whoever had the disc. And I paused it, I'm like, so Vince, what's wrong with this right here? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what's wrong with your defense? He's like, and it ended up going like, he's like, because he thought he had to be in between the person and the disc at all times,
Oh.
not like towards the
Yeah.
side. And Matt ended up telling him that, like in soccer and like basketball, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
But in frisbee, discs float. So it's easier to bend it around on those angles, so it's harder for you to make up ground. And Vince, I think, understood that. He's like, that makes sense. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've
you
never
broke
thought of
Vince's mind.
I've never
Holy
thought
crap.
of that like that mentality of bringing that from different sports of like I have to be between the two.
Yeah.
Because I think that applies to a lot of people actually.
People do it a ton with
Yeah.
throws too. People try and hit their receiver in the chest because they're used to playing football or baseball or whatever.
Right.
But like a frisbee's got to be in the air for 3 seconds. So if you throw it to someone's chest, it's way easier for the defender to make a play on.
Right.
Yeah.
And when it's way behind at that point. So.
Yeah, well, that too.
But yeah,
But-
no, that's
So I think Matt bringing in that type of thing actually helped break through Vince's mind
Mm-hmm.
block on how to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he takes it to heart for this next week and we see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good ear.
he won't because we're gonna beat you. But that's for later. So
I mean, I'm gonna break your ankle, so it's fine.
yeah, I survived Dan. So
I was on the
I didn't even
ground.
touch it.
I was on the ground 4 separate times.
Oh my god.
It was so bad.
okay.
No, Luke.
I was good
No.
first.
Luke broke my ankles twice. Kevin broke my ankles once, and then I don't know why I was on the ground. I think I might have just been 3. Now that I'm thinking about it, but like there was one time because
He laid down out of defeat.
Gabe was like, "Yeah, like don't let Luke handle. Make it as hard for him to get the disc on those little short dishbacks." So like I'm standing in front of him, and Luke will start to cut up field, and so I'm running with him so I don't get burned deep, and then he just takes one step back, and I just my ankles like.
bye bye. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was good. You guys only won by 2,
1 by 3.
3. Okay.
It was a good game altogether. Like,
Yeah.
even with how bad my team played, we did all right. I did do a lot.
That's how I felt all season, baby.
Well, next game then was Pat and I on field 2.
I never finished watching that game.
It was a really good game. I'm
From the I think I made it like 15 to 20 minutes in. It looked pretty good.
yeah. It
I
was.
have to watch that.
I would say pretty much without a doubt because week 1 was pretty okay. It was just that we had like better raw skill than you guys did at that point. But other than week 1, it was our best game of the season for sure.
Yeah.
We played a full, 2 halves of good actual frisbee the whole time.
Yeah.
We had, open hands. We tied for week 1 for our most scored. So it was 12-14. We only lost by 2 to Pat's team, who arguably with the trade could be best in the league. So I'm very happy with what we did. I think it was definitely us almost winning the game rather than Pat's team losing the game. You know what I mean?
Do you think it was the blonde power up? Or?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's a solid Super Saiyan
Mm-hmm.
blood running through me. But no, actually, I do think that not the hair in particular, but like the mentality of our team helped a lot because everybody in the playoffs, our hair and our like past 2 weeks of just like, all right, we're going out and having fun. My hair is in like
hair?
When you say our hair, are you talking?
Is there bets within the team going on? Does everyone need to go?
our hair. I tried that, by the way. I tried that.
Did you all talk about your hair before the game?
Yeah, like a couple times.
Like everyone talked about their own hair.
Oh no, just my hair.
No, I'm talking. But you said our hair, so that means
Yeah.
your whole team's hair.
I
I
left
think
off
you-
the word bet. I should have said our hair bet.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think you should start talking about your hair with your whole team. Like your
Good
whole
point.
team should start talking about their hair.
All right, I'll try it.
So, how is Matt Peterson working his way into the squad?
As expected, hugely beneficial. He
Has he played like college or club or anything before, or is he just like a pickup king?
yeah, pick up king for sure. He he might have played in like I'll have to ask him. He might have played more organized than just pickup, but
Because like,
because I feel like I heard him talk about it at some point.
yeah,
I don't
But-
think he has.
Okay.
You said Aya. Did you ever watch Jackie Chan Adventures?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
One more thing. All right, but he definitely is fitting in pretty well. Very beneficial to us having a little bit more height and just a little bit more athleticism. But there were like at least 3 that I can think of occasions where like chemistry was a thing.
Yeah.
Where like I tried to like lead him or something to a place where he like
Yeah.
didn't want to go and he was then not there, or like stuff like that where Mark was looking for a specific cut from him and it wasn't there.
right.
So that is definitely going to be part of it. We'll have to keep playing together, but he's a pretty quick learner, and he definitely didn't like body people up. I mean, plays physical because
Yeah.
he's kind of a big dude, but like he was respectful. So
Good.
very pleased with our performance overall.
Good to hear.
Aaron and Elizabeth are just like catching fire with learning what we're saying on defense.
Mhm.
Because there was like multiple times that I was noticing, specifically Aaron was like just spot on with the force every time, like knew what the force was, held it, like stopped the under entirely, and like her only sort of like thing that I actually tried to talk about was she'll stop the under and be like really good, and then once the threat's gone, she kind of just like, okay, I did my job,
Right.
and so she like backs off a bit and then has to end up jet skiing to catch up. But overall, very, very pleased with how we played. Especially because this week we only had, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 7 total turns, which again, I think Josh underestimated just slightly. So it's probably more like 10. But
It's unlikely in a game that low score and that you lost that you only turned it over 7 times.
Yeah. it was probably
It
more
pretty much
like,
has to be like 14 for that to make sense.
maybe. I don't know. It felt like,
Unless everyone's throwing
Well,
like
the ones that were
15
close, I counted as
completion.
drops.
well, if they touch it, it's a drop.
That's what
So-
I'm saying.
As long as they
Pat
touch
also only had Pat's team only had 4 turns.
Yeah, that's
No
definitely,
way.
yeah. But it kind of did
Unless
feel like,
every single point was like 15 passes and took 3 to 4 straight minutes.
It was.
it kind of was. a
No,
little bit.
did you watch
No,
the?
I didn't.
No, there was a point where their team got it right on the line. They called it not in, and they probably brought it back probably 20 yards.
Yeah.
And then worked it up again.
No, it did feel kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Where there's just a lot of passes, but they were all completed and
Mhm.
it worked. But yeah, I mean, just overall good. I know we don't really have Pat representation here, so one thing I noticed from their team was Allison was just like an absolute monster out there. She was hitting the walls. She dove like 3 times. She had 5 TDs. Like she was on fire.
So with Sam being here now, how many weeks has Pat been on? 2?
Pat himself has been on 2 or 3.
Well, anyone else on Pat's team ever been on?
2.
Mojo
was
Mojo.
going to that one week, but he didn't.
Didn't you right?
No.
No, yeah. Oh,
Now they
they're-
both have equal representation
Yeah.
on the cast.
Wow.
We can almost make fun of Pat for never showing up.
Yeah. Next week, if no one from his team shows up, we'll make fun of him. But yeah, they did pretty good. I mean, they probably had more like miscommunications than they would have wanted to,
Mhm.
because it did seem like they were getting not frustrated, but like they weren't playing to their full potential.
Yeah.
But I like to think that was because we actually were throwing some good defense at them, and they were sort of like, "What do we do?"
Right.
But
You lost by 2, you said?
Yeah.
Do you think the Eli for Alex was kind of?
that probably played a part for sure. I think somebody
I
said
see he
it
has
was.
2 points.
He does have 2.
Yeah, that's why I scrolled down because I did
Yeah.
take his stats so they would match up.
And 3Ds. That's bad.
Yeah, so it made a little bit of a difference, I think, just because Wojo is more of a little bit more of a threat downfield, just because that's what he does, and he can jump and all that. But Eli did well. I mean, if anything, it made like a point or 2 difference. Like it wasn't like,
I would say exactly 2.
well, you know what I mean. Like I'm saying, they might have had a point or 2 more if Wojo was there.
Oh.
But only a point or 2. I don't think it was like Eli played very well. So I don't know. Was anyone, Josh? You were watching, right? I think you were the only one here that was watching.
Yeah, but I don't. But I just because I was just tallying,
Taking stats,
so
yeah.
it was like I wasn't really actually like engaged enough to remember vividly what was going on.
No, I feel that.
From watching the video of it, Allison definitely bailed them out because
Yeah.
typically it's Pat and Wojo are the dish people. Like I've kind of from watching the videos of games to try to understand how like frisbee's supposed to be played, I've realized that every single team has one person that always is like the bailout. Like, okay, crap. We're not. There's no one upfield. Who am I gonna throw it to? And like Allison was that person for Pat. And also, I think you guys have done the best so far. Maybe other than Kevin's team, just from straight out scoring them. But like, I think you guys did the best D for them because their defense, how they score is they work it up the field. They don't really do a lot of big throws, and you guys, like, I don't know if it looked like you guys were running a zone at certain points, or like, were you guys trying to? Well, it looked like it did. And
Well, maybe actually, because
Were you
Mark and I
barking?
did a little long, but Mark and I do a little bit of like unspoken bracket every once in a while. Like it's not really. We both know that we both like to poach, so we both understand. Like it's like a totally like mental like. Okay, yeah, I know you're gonna cover.
I'm
that.
playing junk next week.
I'm completely honest with you. Mark does not like poaching.
Well, he like. Oh yeah, like poaching. You're right, but he can and knows he sort of has to. So
I think you guys actually like really did a really good job of shutting them down because they also really like to throw it up like what's it called where you throw it the same side as the force, like no breaking pass.
jam it up the jam hole.
Yeah.
Line?
Cram it up the cram
You
line.
they lube it up. They lube up the frisbee
And jam it up the
and
jam.
jam it up the jam hole. No, where you throw it. You throw it up to the unforced side.
Oh, you break.
Yeah, you break.
Yeah, they do like to break a lot.
Is that what
They-
Gabe's teaching you over there?
Huh?
The unforced?
Yeah, they like to throw it up the breaking side, and you guys actually shut them down
Mhm.
better than anyone else, I think. And so
Break side.
the break side.
Fun fact: I'm the only person Pat hadn't thrown a scuba on in the league.
I don't think you did it on me.
Oh fuck you!
Like, do you just mean in the game or like
Yeah.
marking? Oh, okay, yeah, he threw it in our game for sure. But
Yeah, what's a scuba?
it's essentially a hammer. But
Oh,
it's
what
like,
Elliot always does.
No.
no, Elliot's
Elliot
hammer's
throws
just
hammers.
No, but like
Elliot's
why
hammer
does
hurts my body.
Elliot's just behind his head?
Here.
It's like, gosh.
Yeah, no, it is not. It's like it's instead of like a full throw of a hammer, it's like from your shoulder over the top.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Jane likes to do a lot.
You're gonna trigger out of Jan. He throws a lot of good.
Speaking of tank throws, Paul threw 3 or 4 push passes, 2 for points. I was like, "What are you doing?" I mean, it was working, but I was like, "Ah."
He practices disc golf and you get a tournament.
Yeah.
I will also say James, I think, played the best defense I've ever seen him play before.
Yeah, he was. That was another part of it too. Is he was doing pretty good D, but it seemed like he wasn't making a big difference on offense,
Yeah.
which was
Who?
James, tall guy, Snyder man.
Are we on your game, or are we talking about? Oh, you played
Correct.
Pat.
Yeah.
Don't know where your brain is, but
How many of those have you had so far, Dan?
My third.
That was fast.
True. But yeah, I mean, it was just a good game. There wasn't like neither team really did anything terribly, and neither team really did anything like exceptional. So it was just kind of met in the middle and had a good game. So
I'd venture to say you did terribly at winning.
see, now, I don't know if that's true though.
Stop. He's already dead.
But I don't know if that's true because we only lost by 2. So I feel like that's not terrible.
You didn't win.
It's kind of a binary.
Yeah, fair. But is
I
terrible.
like how Kev's swinging now that he lost.
I know, right?
He's been humble all year, and then loses his first game. You're
Now I can
loser.
shit time.
Now you can start swinging at people.
Well, get ready to lose another one. But yeah, I don't. There's not really much more I had on that.
That seemed like a good game.
I'm looking to get out and do it again this week.
Lose?
No. Play as good as we played.
So wait, since we're not facing Pat anymore, we're facing.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
But last game,
Yeah. Sorry.
Dan Scott.
Dan Scott.
I was drinking. I wasn't really
It was a good
watching
game.
the game.
It was a weird
Enough,
game.
It was very. It was,
Both teams had separate 12-minute spans of not scoring.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The first half, Scott's team just kind of ran it, and then second half, my team ran it, but the gap was just too big.
It was.
That's all right.
It was. I think it was 3-2. My team was up, and then your team didn't score from minute 5 until the last 30 seconds of the game, or the first
Half, yeah.
And then you had two unfortunate circumstances to start out the second half, so we got 2 quick ones, which maybe could have caught up if those 2 points hadn't happened,
Yeah.
but they did, so it was hard. to
No,
find.
and like that's something I've realized. Like we start so slow.
Well,
Wait, that's not part of your strategy to come from behind and just destroy them?
No, so
Yeah.
if this were Dota or League and there was like a bounty system kind of catch up mechanic,
You guys would steamroll every game.
unfortunately this is real life.
The worst place to be.
So not only is there a bonus for when you're down, not a bonus for when you're down. It's kind of detrimental.
yeah. Yeah, but we were trying some different stuff in the second half because we threw a side stack this week instead of the whole stack. So there was the first half was a little bit of us just like going out and playing, but in the second half we're trying to like keep much more strictly to the side stack thing, and it was just some like growing pains of working through that for the first time and finding out how everyone does it. We also tried to work some different guys into the handler set, like get them experience. Because I think it's really like valuable just to play for like a point or two, just so you know when you're kind of like, okay, like what's easy, like how can I make life easy on them? Because not everyone can throw crazy passes to 6-inch windows.
No, that's something I've kind of been experimenting with. Is like I'm past 2 games or so I've been rotating out of the main handler set.
I saw you like guarded you one time and you cut.
Yeah, and that like I like to use myself to guarantee that first cut.
Yeah.
And also, so not necessarily. I kind of function as a main handler out of the stack, in that like I'm getting the disc with power.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm putting myself in a good position that I can guarantee that position.
Mm-hmm.
Where and so it's nice for because then Higgy's back there handling, and I can have Matt handling.
Yeah.
And
Would she tell you to call her Matt for the whole podcast?
yeah, she did.
Okay. Cool.
Did she buy you guys tacos for your first win?
No, she's a dirty liar, Kevin.
Oh, man.
I totally didn't make that story up. She said that word for word. She even asked, like, what would you guys prefer, Bamba or Barrio? I was like, hey, tacos are tacos, and here we are with no tacos. But,
Is she ever going to make good on that promise?
you know, I'd venture to say no.
I wonder why.
She strikes me as kind of a dishonest person.
Yeah.
But no shade towards Matt. But yeah. So like I've been kind of depending on who's on the field, clearly, but like I've been kind of transitioning to the stack myself,
Yeah.
and I think it is paid in dividends, just because people feel really bashful to make that cut. Like even if I look at Josh in the eyes, I'm like, your first cut. And then,
Yeah,
like, you know, we get the pull, and then the stacks. Like, I don't know if it's factor of the stack not setting up quick enough, or people just don't cut.
Yeah, it's
So
a little bit of like imposter syndrome. Like, hey, there's people better than me on the team. They're gonna do something.
And I think something that I might need to voice better as a captain, in that, like, because Ross kind of made it known that, like, he's like, X cuts first, right? I'm like, X is setting the stack, and he's like, if you set it, you cut. I'm like, no, not unless I tell you. Like, I mean, sure, X can be first cut, but like,
There's
Plays like that.
It's gotta be a specific.
like, it's 2 separate things.
Yeah, we had that happen a couple of times. Where part of it was the fact that we were setting up the stack starting at like midfield half the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of times X just ended up being the most open.
Yeah.
But we were cutting for the front of the stack a fair amount too, and that was clogging things.
Mm.
The one thing I noticed that both teams did, and this is like my new least favorite thing. I'm gonna blow up every time I see this from now on. Is people throwing no look passes. There were 4 no look passes thrown in that game. 3 of them resulted in turns.
So anytime someone throws a no look pass, you're gonna blow up.
I hate it. It's my least favorite thing. Like if someone
So if Dan throws a no look pass, you're gonna
I was
blow
gonna say,
up.
when do we play?
well, no, not on well, your team did it twice. My team did it twice. Your team was
Successful?
1 and 2.
2, I think 0 for 2 on it, and my team was 1 for 2.
Oh.
But like if you're on the sideline and you're like you got the disc and you just turn around and throw it, like you don't know what's back there. Like Ross did it, and like Joey just came over and snacked it.
Oh, that was a big thing in the first half of just go on.
You were on the sideline one time, and Christina was wide open, and you like did a really cool move, but, like she had no idea the disc was coming at her. Like
Yeah, I kind of juked her. I know exactly what you're talking about. I juked her.
And
Dan
then
definitely
like
likes
there was
those.
one that Mike did to me where it's the same thing where he's just like, here you go, and then Angel did it to me, and I.
It wasn't a no
another
look by me. I wouldn't count that as a no look.
It wasn't a no look by you, but it was like the person you were throwing to had no idea that the disc was coming.
Yeah, so I did my job. I broke the fuck out of him.
I mean, look, your mark was standing 45 degrees up on you. You could have just stepped back, taken like a full second, and thrown a backhand if you
Yeah,
wanted.
but where's my highlight?
Okay.
Dan likes to throw snake eyes. He likes to not make eye contact with you and throw like a ridiculous push pass or
Yeah.
some weird shit
It
over
was a
the
backhand.
Actually, there was another one that Joey did Dustin, but Dustin caught it. So there was 5 in that game.
But how many of those did you blow up on?
I didn't realize they happened I didn't realize it was such a consistent thing at the time. But then I watched the game, and like every time I saw it, I was like, make note of that. I'm not actually gonna blow up, but like that's one of my least favorite things to see.
But yeah, no, a huge thing, in which I think was super helpful for us in the second half, of just like we'd get 5 yards within the end zone, and then I think I'm gonna use Ross as a good scapegoat for it, and that he would just get people get hungry, and so it's like I'm so close.
Well, the end zone's so small that the defense, it's like the openings close up so much when you're in the end zone.
Yeah,
so, like,
but like
you feel that.
No,
pressure.
you're right on line.
And you have like there's like 4 people within 3 yards of you, and you just
Exactly.
feel that pressure to like I have to do something, or else maybe someone else is gonna turn it. So then you end up turning it.
Yeah, but that was the thing, and that like, and I made a huge point of it at half, and which paid dividends.
Yeah.
It was just like, because Ross turned it like 3-4 times,
Mm-hmm.
2-3 yards from the end zone, just because it's like, I'm so close. Let me just make this quick dumb throw, and I think literally one of them he threw a fucking bowler.
Yeah.
He's like, get in there. It's like,
If he would have completed it though, would you have bought him Rosati's?
no.
No, that's
I yell at my team, Kevin.
Yeah, that's the schwa.
But yeah, and so I just felt like I made a big point of it. Like, hey, even regardless of how close you are to the end zone, it's okay to throw backwards. Like, it's okay to reset
Yeah.
the disc. Get it away from the wall.
Well, I think there was one time in the second half where Ross had an open throw to Chase and actually like
Probably holstered it.
holstered it, turned around, and dumped it back to you at midfield.
Oh, and is that the one Joey Deed? Or
No, it was a super dump. There was no one near you. You got it, and then I don't know what happened after that, but like
I mean, if we scored, good.
I don't know.
That's exactly what I
know
wanted.
you did, to be honest.
But and then the second thing that I made notice of was like in those situations of where we're getting that close to the end zone, but obviously not in it. Now my entire team's in the end zone,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want 8 people
Yeah,
in that tiny end zone.
yeah.
And so
Although it helps you from time to time, because there was one point where Josh ran Mike Long through a pick and got a point off of it.
I thought you were gonna make a call every game.
Very-
Like, come
very-
I did
on.
call the pick. I did call the pick.
Well, very end of the
But it
first
was-
half, there was a crowd of people, and you said you didn't run into the crowd because you didn't think you could get there. Like that's perfect opportunity to like
Force the foul.
not force the foul. It's
Just
just have
make
to,
a call.
You have to play defense. Like that's the right thing to do there.
Okay.
Yeah, but and so at halftime, I also made the point of like I don't want more than 2 of our people.
Yeah. No, I heard you say that a couple times during the game.
Can I get back to the fact that Mike was saying force a call?
What?
Tackle someone.
Speaking of force a call, you guys tried to like gaslight me with 3 minutes left in the game.
Oh, it was less than that. It was like a minute and a half.
Minute and a half left in the game. like I was going for the disc, and Ross tried to like, I guess, make the play through my body. We both end up on the ground, and I was like, okay, foul. And he goes, yeah. And then you pick it up and keep playing. I'm like,
Well, I didn't hear you, and I was more so I wasn't upset at the call as much as I was that you didn't make it as vocal.
okay, yeah. And I was like,
Because like I get the disc and I start moving and then it's this whole process of everyone has to get back and we had so little time,
Yeah.
so it's
Would you
a little bit
believe
frustrating.
You're an ass.
No, he didn't know.
well, then I felt
Well,
bad.
because Scott goes, foul. Like, how am I supposed to hear that?
Sorry. Okay.
There's a fucking contact. What do you mean?
To be honest, having
Okay.
no
When Mike isn't plowing through a crowd or whatever, like, you gotta be. All right. Okay, I'm not gonna make the call, Kevin.
You have someone tackling Scott.
Scott's gonna call him foul. That's a bit exaggerated.
It wasn't a tackle. It was he tried to make the play through my body, and we both ended up on the ground. It was not a tackle, but it was a very clear foul.
It's one of the things where no one says anything. I'm not gonna make the call.
Scott's gonna make the call.
Okay, then say foul.
I find it hard to believe that having met myself before that I didn't say it loud.
I was watching and I remember A, saying this is going to be podcast material, and B, remember, like, it was clearly a foul. Other people downfield stopped moving because it was clearly a foul. They were talking about it and he picked it up. But to be fair, you were like in your
Yeah, I mean,
like you were fine.
the other thing I keep doing, and I think this created a little bit of confusion, which I feel bad about, is Ross like held out his hand for me to slap the disc in. I just like gave him a high five and then started playing. I did that like one or two other times. Like it was completely just me on autopilot. Oh, there's a hand there, like high five. And then Ross didn't say disc in, or like it wasn't obvious that the disc was in. So like you weren't really ready on defense. I just kind of lobbed it in the end zone.
Yeah,
That's a violation.
I'm an asshole.
Well, I mean, we did like initiate like the disc is in play. It's Ross's responsibility to yell disc in, isn't it?
Well,
Yes.
if you just high five him and Ross is waiting there to check it.
It's
So,
both. It
when
goes
did the
both ways.
salt
It should
come out, or-
Ross should do more.
Yeah.
Where yes, it is the mark's job to look behind, look at his team.
Because this is after the foul, right?
Yeah.
So
So
he has to check it.
I hold out the disc. Ross holds out his hand, and then I smack his hand. So both the hand and the disc are out, not making contact.
the disc isn't in yet because he has to check it. Not with the foul.
Yes, but non-verbally, that's what he was doing. He was saying like, "I'm ready," and he didn't look to his team.
Just
and say
imagine
that.
Scott's mind. He's just trying to, Scott slaps his hand out of the way, and while his hand is out of the way, just throws it where the open space is. He's like this.
No.
Scott goes.
I also threw it like a full 3 seconds after.
Scott has his off hand brushing Ross out of the way. He makes it go.
No, I threw it like a full 2 or 3 seconds after it was in too. So it was, but I do feel kind of
The
bad.
defender has to touch the disc after a foul to check it in.
Okay.
Unless it's like an injury foul, like
Okay.
type thing.
Well,
That's the thing. Like I knew that, but in the moment I was like, "Oh, sick! High five!"
If Ross doesn't say it, that's on his fault. That's
Yeah.
his fault. That's but you have to let him hit the disc.
but enough of us nerds. Mike, Josh, you both were in this game. What do you think happened?
Oh, I have no thoughts. I think that Dan and Scott pretty much summed it up pretty well.
Josh, did anyone score on you?
Mike did. I think Mike did.
Yeah, Mike did.
Dunked on
I
him.
think I did.
I think Zach did. Well, that's our thing. We
No,
didn't have Walsh.
Palms wasn't on me. I was not.
No.
I think it was just Mike.
Just once?
I think he got one. Yeah. I don't think anybody else. I also do have a drop in there, and I don't know why it's not on there. I remember it very vividly because my foot is black and blue.
For drop?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is actually another thing that I'm legitimately curious about because I watched this in slow motion like 50 times. Matt makes the D, and as far as I can tell, it's clean when he makes the D, but he steps on Josh's foot after the fact.
Can Josh still have a play on it?
It's very close.
I think it hit the wall, so I'm not 100% sure. It was right at the wall, so I don't know.
And I didn't call a foul because I didn't think anything of
It's
it.
more of like I was more wondering since it's so close to the line, unless it was like knocked away floaty and Josh could have still sprinted after and got it, and him getting
that's
stepped
not
on
what it
stopped him
was.
from doing that.
He
then
was kind of
yes.
like bobbling.
I did get my hands on it after the
I
fact.
do think it hit the wall when he hit it.
Yes, after he hit
Yeah,
it.
then
Yeah.
that's fine. Because I have called a foul for people stepping on my feet before when
Yeah.
I was trying to go up
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, that's
it didn't move.
Delude.
Yeah, he made fun of me when do for
Because I just didn't know what the call there is. Because definitely like Matt stepped the fuck on Josh's foot, but I didn't necessarily affect.
Yeah, because that's the reason why I fell on the ground. I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't move because I went to move after that, and my
Yeah.
foot was stuck on the ground. So I'm like, oh, I'm down.
Yeah, I think Dustin and I tripped over each other at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which foot now, but like it was hurting for a little bit.
Did Mark get hurt in your guys' game?
A little bit.
I was watching him and Dennis. I watched it like 5 times, and like I'm not calling out Mark at all. He kind of looked like he was like milking it, just like how it happened. I couldn't. Like, it literally just looked like he stepped in front of Dennis, and Dennis picked up his leg to like try to keep running, and his leg hit the back of Mark's leg, and Mark went down.
Yeah.
And then Dennis went down, and I was just like, but like Mark was down for like 10 seconds. And I was like,
Marcus had like just chronic ankle issues.
Okay,
He,
gotcha.
Like, messed it up
Okay.
in high school or something like that. And so anytime anyone injures their leg at all, he's like, "Take care of it, damn it!" and gets like all over you because of that. He like literally cutting wrong will like aggravate it.
So,
So
when you hurt your ankle, is he just screaming?
yeah,
at you?
like literally all week. He was like, "Don't go too hard like this." So I was like, I'm not. I swear to. But yeah, no. So you're right. It probably
I was just making
Gabe
sure he was
wouldn't even-
okay because I didn't talk to him. Because I didn't talk to him, but like I saw him and he was down for like 10 seconds and it didn't look that bad. But I didn't know if like, he actually got hurt.
no. Like Gabe wouldn't have batted an eye to it, but Mark's had issues, so it hurts him.
Oh, big bummer.
I don't play Kev next week.
Why is it a big bummer?
Because I want to call 18 fucking travels on Luke every time he brings the disc up.
All right, sounds like a
That's
plan.
fair. That is 100% fair.
I'll do it.
Please do. Is he
Does a
just,
lot.
is he unaware of the fact that everyone comments on that constantly, or does he do it on purpose?
I don't think.
Because he for sure takes like 2-3 steps.
I honestly
towards
don't
center
think he
field every
thinks
time.
when he does it. I think he just picks up the disc and walks.
Because usually it's not too bad. It's like a yard close to the center. Like, who cares? But there's a couple times where
pretty bad.
he takes it like 3 yards in front of the brick mark for some reason.
I guarantee. I don't think he thinks when he sometimes
Yeah.
when he plays. He just picks it up and walks. He just does stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
There is not a thought behind those soulless eyes.
I'm not gonna be honest. I don't think a whole lot when
Yeah.
I play.
No, same.
Yeah.
I'd sort of
I
like
just react.
second nature, but yeah. I mean,
Also, Kevin, thank you for being kind to me when I definitely was. Because I watched the video of that and like I was at Luke's chest.
Yeah,
like,
it's like you gotta give a little
yeah,
distance.
Kevin comes over. We get a point. And I was like we got the disc. We turn it back over. They turn it back over. We scored. I see Kevin come running down. I'm like, what the heck is Kevin doing? He comes up to me. He takes the disc out of my hand and he goes, Sammy, you need to make sure the disc is between. He needs to be able to do this in order for that to not be a foul. I was like, thanks, Kevin. And I go up to Luke. I was like, Luke, like, just call me on it next time. Like, you can, like, I won't be upset. Fine. And I was like, Luke's upset.
Another thing that I've noticed with like that whole thing is you're also not allowed to do this.
oh right, you can't like hug your arms. You have to be
Okay.
flat.
Okay. Gotcha.
Really? I didn't
So
know
many
that.
people like go.
I thought it was just like a bad move to do that. I didn't realize.
I mean,
It's both because doing this doesn't let you like.
Am I actually like standing like this? Because how I defend is when I'm standing here, if he's going to step, I go in like
that's fine.
in line. That's what I feel like I'm doing. But if I'm not doing that, I will try to be more.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that like hug.
Okay,
And it's
gotcha.
like okay.
Like no one's gonna be out there with like a protractor.
Yeah.
Like, are you at 180 degrees? Like no, but like some people literally do like wrap around.
I caught the faintest bit of Alex Jones like,
You're not doing the front.
So something I like to do, I like to be back
Yeah.
because it gives me more time to react, just like a split second more.
So you can make
Plus,
a
it makes me
switch?
feel like Naruto.
No.
Yeah, it does, Kevin. No lie.
Gives you confidence. It's
This is my Ninjago, my ninja way.
No, that's how.
No way, that's
Believe it.
Holy shit, that's the fucking Lego ninja thing. That Ninjago. That's what. That is- oh wow, what is that?
I mean, ninjutsu is what you're probably trying to think of, but
That ain't it either.
well, it is. But
No, you're wrong.
okay.
You were wrong.
All right.
So, do we feel like we discussed last week's game?
Wait. Actually, one other question.
No,
Scott, is it normal for you to have that many
term
assists?
for your ninja way?
If I don't turn the disc over 50
No,
times.
ninjutsu is the type.
Wait, Scott,
There's
did Matt
taijutsu,
actually get a D
genjutsu,
on that
ninjutsu.
disc?
You're wrong.
Or was it a drop? Which one was it?
He is wrong. Am I not?
That's a good question.
Because
No.
me and Matt need a point. I'm putting it on there. Whatever it goes to. If it goes to a drop for me or D for Matt.
We can
Nindo.
take another look at it. I don't know which of those was the case.
I was looking, I was like, Matt doesn't have a D and I don't have a drop. So I was like,
Joey had like 4 Ds and he has 1 on the sheet. He was just soaking up those little like dink and dunk.
our stats takers are back. I don't know. I feel like I did pretty well. I missed a couple, I guess. But
Also, comment about, not that it really matters, but the one good play I had, which shouldn't have been that hard, where I was bobbling the disc after Luke hit it, wasn't caught on camera. I bobbled it out of the camera's view, and so all you hear is, yeah! It's not on screen. And I forgot that happened, and I was like, crap. Luke just got a great D on me, and I totally dropped it. And then I see Luke walking down the field, like, oh, I caught that. That was the one.
Like, Long, were you the one doing the camera?
Yeah.
You knew the answer to that question.
you knew he changed his name in the Discord for a reason.
What did you?
So
He's called bad at filming.
next week's games have been changed. Can someone pull up the
Yeah,
schedule, please?
Josh, you go to schedule because you're right. Next week's
which
game.
one is it?
It's the one on the right.
Yeah.
This one?
Alright, so next week, game 1, week 8, coming into the final stretch. 5 weeks left. 6 weeks left. I can't count. Like 13 minus 8 is 5, but we haven't played week 8 yet. Game 1, Gabe versus Dan. 2 is Scott versus Pat, and primetime is TJ versus Kevin.
The Battle of the Connollys.
Battle for Katie.
Yikes.
I mean, it's also the battle of the.
No.
You can have it.
Anyways, what day?
I'm trying to think of Matt's last name. Aaron Holt?
Oh, what?
Aaron Holt?
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
Yes, Aaron. You're right. Yeah, actually. Oh shit, that's actually crazy. Both the siblings are playing each other. Anyways, Gabe, Dan,
Gabe Dan.
Sammy, Dan.
You can go first, Dan.
I needed like.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Because, okay. I prepared something for facing Pat and not facing James, too. Well, no, because I wanted to at least sound intelligent, sound like I knew what I'm talking about, even though I don't really know how to play Frisbee.
Well, just use
You
what
guys
you
are my cool friends. I wanted to look cool in front of you guys.
just use what you prepared for Pat and just switch it.
Okay, so,
change the name.
I think Pat's like. I think Pat.
My name's Dan.
I think Dan's team relies a ton on or not that they rely on, they mess up a lot because they try to force plays. And so I think how we beat them is we try to make them force passes.
You don't have to try.
Also, like you coach a lot of defense
Yeah.
too.
And then I also think
I might. I don't know. But...
Like you and Higgy do a lot.
forcing hard marks on someone like Jan, I think like Jan, Josh, people like basically anyone other than Dan forcing hard marks, I feel like can force them to make a bad pass. And also I think playing under the disc when anyone other than Dan has the Frisbee is how we need to play defense to beat them. Because like I think as long as we force them to throw it deep, I trust, because I'm usually not guarding anyone deep, but like I trust Elliott and Gabe and Tony to pick up those deep throws. And so as long as I feel like we can shut down underneath, like, I think I trust Dan's team to turn it over.
Yeah, no, that's a decent. You're right. Their team isn't super deep thready, but I feel like that's something you guys have been trying to fix.
I have to say one thing. Josh had 2 steaks for dinner, and now he has 5.
And they didn't give me my milkshakes. I don't actually know what's in this bag. So
All right.
You didn't tell the truth.
Multiple milkshakes.
I was just gonna say. So not only are you eating your second dinner, but you just said that they didn't give me my milkshakes.
correct. So they gave me 2 like. I don't know what's in those. Those are for anybody, I guess. I don't want them.
Are you like a one meal
You
a
don't
day
want
guy?
them? You don't want them?
Yeah, drink whatever it is.
No, are you like a 1 meal a day guy?
I eat from
Oh,
2
wait,
to
not
8.
milkshakes?
Usually. 2 to 8. But it's
Okay.
8:18.
I thought they were milkshakes.
No, dude, it's just you drinking pop, whatever. This is definitely not mine. What the hell is this? I don't want these.
Where are those?
Wait, the hell?
Teasers?
Yeah,
They think they are.
I don't know what the hell these are.
How many Galley Boys you got? They are.
These are 5 unsweetened iced tea. Who knows? You know what?
These are my Galley Boys. You can't have these.
I'm gonna go Swenson.
They shorted me a burger too. This is unbelievable.
Just made my night.
The audio murder that just happened. I apologize for, but
That is just who drinks unsweetened iced tea?
oh, that's the worst. Yeah.
Absolute.
Just don't drink it.
What's the point of it? It's not pure sugar.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my quick.
I actually like unsweetened iced tea.
Oh, wrong.
Like
No.
sociopath.
I like
You are
tea.
I don't like sweet.
You're not invited to my birthday.
I like unsweetened.
We don't accept your comment there.
I gotta replace Mike on my team.
Sorry, back to
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's a pretty good synopsis. I think that's a pretty effective way of playing defense on my team. Because I think you do win a lot of those deep matchups. I think I'm not entirely sure that it's for the reasoning. Well, I guess you didn't really give a reasoning as to like why you're just kind of like, oh, I trust Gabe and I trust Elliott and I trust Tony. Like a deeper dive into that is, I think, simply that they're better at reading the disc
Yeah.
as opposed to like, oh, I can outperform. Which I think Gabe and Elliott can do both, but there's been a myriad of times of Ross included, which is kind of shady. Is that a fucking chicken sandwich?
This is not Galley Boys and milkshakes. I am calling after this.
Yeah, you should. This happened to, actually with Swenson. This happened to me once on DoorDash. Not only did they refund me, they gave me
That was pretty good.
that amount.
Yeah, but I'd have a Galley Boy any day like
Credit.
that.
What looks like a wannabe Chick-fil-A sandwich. Alright, yeah, but I don't know. What do you want me to elaborate more on?
Well, not even just elaborate. It's just like my kind of like observation of it, and that like there's been a multitude of times throughout the season of Ross included, which kind of stammering to me of just misreading the disc in the end zone. Like, you know, you get these wide open throws, and then it's just like it's over my shoulder, and just because I'm looking right and it's going left.
There's one I was really impressed by, where he like was cutting and Jan threw a scuba, like a lefty scuba at him. So it's coming from the exact opposite angle you would normally expect this to come from in that situation. And Ross still like turned around and like found it and like caught it like a football in the end zone. So he's pretty good at that thing sometimes.
I think he's reactionary. I don't think he's
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, no. And so it's just like if I put these kind of longer floaty balls up, then it's it definitely should be contested. Which is like if you truly play a hard deep force, then I think it's very hard for my team. Then it turns to more handler movement up to the goal line and fight from there. But which isn't the hugest problem.
And you could do that.
I just need to run more.
Yeah, I don't think there's a world where you win this game where you get to like chill out.
Yeah.
you're gonna have to like probably work your ass off.
You're gonna have to have Gabe. You're gonna have to have stats like Gabe.
I don't like trying. That's the problem.
Well, make everybody else do it then.
But the last thing I will
That's
say,
also a problem.
another thing I'll say is that, like, just like against your team, I think we have a very. The thing that I think I like about our team is that there's Elliot and Gabe, and then there's a skill gap. But then I think we have the best like mid-skill team out of anyone else, and so like. Yes, we have mismatches like against us, but I also think every single game we have a always go-to mismatch that we can throw to, because like that's how we kill your team every single time we play you is just Becca every single time, just focus her all game, like, and I think like we can do that against Dan's team too. But I'm trying to look at the matchups and what they be. But
Disagree. I think my team is the most mid team ever.
That's right. That's whoever this.
I don't know. I think
even more mid than us, really.
I
Yeah,
feel like Scott's
hardcore.
What does mid mean? Like, my team, I think, has the most pickup kings on it, which is something that I'm having to rein in a little bit. That's where a lot of our problems come from, and it took me a while to realize that.
Who'd you classify?
Your player has a lot of, your team has a lot of like unmolded.
Who do you find on your team as mid?
Literally everyone.
Like mid-tier players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Dan's team.
The entirety of my roster.
Yeah, we don't actually have.
Even Dan himself.
Yep.
His whole team.
I was the worst player in the league 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
Oh, that was.
You would put Ross
No,
as a mid tier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I literally just said he's a fucking illiterate piece of shit.
Does Ross listen to this?
Probably. I hope he does.
Well, the issue with that is like that's not something that you fix because like you can't fix it between now and then. You'd have to
No.
take them out to a field or like have a practice and throw a bunch of
He ain't
discs
doing
at
that.
Right.
It also just comes with time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'd agree then.
Well, all right. Who do you? Let's go through it. Scott, what do you think's gonna happen?
What I think's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be.
Can I just speak for everyone outside of myself real quick? Scott thinks Gabe's gonna win by 6 or 8.
Wait, hold on.
Sammy
Before you go
thinks-
through,
I was gonna actually make a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, but 12.
Yeah, that's one of the numbers I could have chose from. Good guess. Like, say, I think he's gonna guess a number. Let's say a number. What does that mean?
Well, all right. Literally everyone here is just gonna say Gabe's gonna win.
Let's just go around the horn.
Shut up. Scott, go.
Just trying to save time.
I think that Dane's team is gonna score a shocking amount of points because they are really good at the kind of breakthroughs and unexpected stuff. And that's kind of what you have to do against Gabe's team if you're not winning all your mismatches. I think they're gonna do better than expected. I still think it's gonna be like 18-10.
That's a shocking amount of points.
I mean, my team scored 7 twice. Your team
No,
scored 8
he
last
said
time
my
you played
team's
them.
gonna score a shocking amount of points.
Double digits is a good number to get to if you're losing by 8.
All right, Sammy, go.
I think Dan's team's going to go out early and get ahead of us because
You're wrong.
I think that's. You don't have. That hasn't happened one time this year.
the reason why I say that is because I know that specifically against our first game with you guys were up 2-0 before we took off. But what I'm saying, the reason for that is I think you guys are going to go up early. I think it's going to go back and forth for the first half. And then I think at some point we're going to get a 2 or 3 point lead and then you guys are going to give up. Because that's what I've seen out of your team a lot is when they can come back, they give
You
up.
give up? No, we don't have the gas tank. Everyone's dying.
Up is that they can't perform.
Yeah, well, I like last game against Scott, I was dead in the last quarter of the game.
Viagra, Cialis, Blue Chew. We need help.
It does actually like improve your blood flow.
that is all it does. Like,
That's
speaking from experience.
no, but like that's something I've heard of over real thing.
I might order some.
gonna take some
Pass it out through the team.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be. It's not. It won't even be a factor of like, oh, we got better blood flow going. Everyone's keeping up. It will be. Everyone on Dan's team has a boner.
I don't want
to be anywhere.
That's a good strategy. You should try it.
You don't.
So yeah, how good's that gonna look for next year when we try and sign up again? And then
I
I'm handing out fucking boner pills
I
in
think
the
if that
lobby.
happens, we'll get the other, go with the other captains together and hold a vote and like suspend your team.
Yeah.
You're not playing.
You've been voted off. Performance enhancing drugs. No tolerance policy. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think, Sammy?
Yeah, score.
So I think score-wise, I think something that's going to be like 12-16, 12-17.
Okay.
I win. Gabe's team is literally just the epitome of cram it up and cram hole. That's all they do. It hasn't changed at all through the whole season. It's just make a strike cut, get the disc, throw it up open side, beat your man. That's it. The occasional backbreaker Elliott hammer.
Score.
Or
Or at least win by.
13-11 me. Or
Okay.
no, yeah.
It's a low scoring game.
Yeah, it is a low-scoring game, but like,
doesn't play defense.
but like my team's defensive centric, so it's like I got. If I'm making this prediction, I gotta say this: it's not that we win offensively because we don't. I think we win defensively.
Defense wins
That's-
championships.
All right, tell him how Gabe wins.
No. You pretty much took the words out of my mouth. Now, I will say, I think in my logic brain that Gabe's going to win, but I'm officially going Dan because of what you just said. I think...
Because you said earlier that he was going to say
No. Truly, that's why I was going to cut you off, because I wanted to make a bet on what you were going to say, because I knew I was going to go you. But, because, like you said, your team is actually very defensive, and I think that, like you said, Gabe's team just goes out there, they've got plenty of skill, but they just kind of play Frisbee, and it works, because they usually throw it to Gabe every other, at least. So if you or, even Higgy or, somebody who has a little bit more, field awareness is able to shut Gabe down, then they'll be able to make a serious dent in your in Gabe's team's scoring. So I think you guys come out hot. Oh, and especially with the addition of Higgy and Matt. I mean, come on, you guys are going to be even you. You guys are going to be lights out.
I
So
forgot you guys have Higgy now.
yeah, Higgy help, baby.
Damn, that actually,
Right.
completely.
We're changing our team name again.
You should change it to
actually.
Higgy's little helper.
No, it's Ross drives a Tesla.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yeah.
You
Or-
drive that Tesla.
Or what if it's like we get it, you drive a Tesla?
Wasn't the Tesla drive itself?
Not his.
His is coming.
He does not pay the $10,000 extra for his to be able to drive itself. Nope. I asked him about it during the summertime.
That's extra money.
What's the point of owning a Tesla?
That's what I'm saying. That's like it's not even.
$10 extra. But you guys take it. I think you're right. I think it's gonna be very close. I think it'll be maybe even screw it. I'll go Universe. I think it's gonna be Universe. You guys win
Here's
14-13.
Here's the question: who catches the winning universe point? Because I've had two of them dropped.
I think you're gonna be out there.
Oh, I catch it.
No. You're gonna throw it
That's a
to.
good idea. I haven't thought about that.
You're gonna get the hockey assist by giving it to Higgy, and Higgy's gonna be able to dump it to somebody who's actually open, which is gonna be Chase.
Chase is never backfield. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's usually either Jan Clogan or
Also, how does Aaron get a hockey assist if Higgy dumps it?
No.
And you just dump it
I'm
five
sorry.
minutes.
The word dump was a bad choice of word. Yes. Tosses. I get drops it into the end zone to somebody who.
Higgy's gonna drop it in the end zone to lose the game.
lightly throws it to somebody in the end zone who's open with him downfield.
That's it. I decided I'm disrespecting Gabe this game.
Good. That's what you need. All right, listen. He got
I'm playing-
90s last time.
I'm playing like an absolute ape. And
Good.
that's when I perform my best.
He got 90s last time, and he's trying to. Now he's aware of the competition with Allison, which, by the way,
Lefty scoobers, low release cheesers, it's all coming out, baby.
I'm only 3 behind him, so you heard it here first. I'm gonna sneak past and get both of them, but yeah, he's riding high. So if you shut him down, he'll tilt.
Also, by the just so. Yeah, Gabe's gonna watch this and be upset. Just tilt Gabe, tilt Gabe, and then he's gonna try to be. He's gonna try to make plays to score more points for himself, and we'll lose.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Because Gabe, multiple times against Kevin, literally said to us, "Guys, I need to get a point here,"
So
and then didn't go back for like. He made a cut against Johnny that I'm sorry, Gabe, you don't have the height. Like you have the speed. I don't trust. I don't trust you with the 50-50s against Johnny, but.
I'm gonna get free milkshakes and Swenson. Free. So
that is what I was saying though. DoorDash will refund it and give you credit for.
who do I call?
There's like a help number when you look on the thing. It's kind of annoying, but they're not terrible. They answer.
All right, Kev, tell me how Gabe's gonna win.
Well, I actually want to go with you.
Yes.
You make me sick.
I don't make you
You're
sick.
doing this out of spite.
I'm not doing this out of spite. I want to see.
Yeah, you've never rooted for me ever.
I want to see.
Not once in my life.
I root for you once this.
Once ever.
No.
Yes.
No.
You might have.
I want to see. What I want to see is I want to see you shut down Gabe, and just completely stop his offense.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in theory, it's super fucking easy.
Yeah. You shut down Gabe. Offense.
Reality. Oh my God, people are brain dead. I'm looking at you, Josh.
But that's why I want to go with Dan. If Dan's able to shut down Gabe,
My guess. Gabe by 50.
I think it's gonna be like it'd be.
Put a beer on that.
I think it'd
Just
be,
to be.
I think it'd be a universe. I think it'd be like coming down the wire at one point. Either Dan's gonna hold it for like the last like 20 seconds, or
Yeah, no, that is actually how
I'm gonna
I to
play
be
some good
even
time ball.
even more specific with my universe call. That's what it's gonna be. You're gonna be up by 1, and then Gabe's gonna be like, "We gotta win," and he's gonna score a point to tie it for universe, and you're gonna squeak it out.
I've thought about it in that, like, I don't really have anyone on my team that can kind of play this kind of
Time ball?
frisbee. Yeah, that kind of frisbee with me of just literally just constant resets. But I want to get up by like 2 points and then literally not even try and score.
Just park the bus.
Absolutely, just constant resets. Get it back to the 1 yard line, our end zone, work it back up, keep going.
Scott seemed to do that to me. I mean, you were up by like 10, so it didn't
So
matter.
I think it's gonna be.
We're up by that.
I think it's gonna be
It wasn't-
14-13
the
Dave.
last one.
Okay,
Like,
can I defend our offense just a little? So I've actually been keeping track of how many points we score without Gabe, or if we're missing Gabe or Elliott.
That's not what we said. I said your offense is simple as fuck. I said it's
But they're saying that if Gabe doesn't touch the disc, however, we have scored like I think it's like right now we've scored a total of. I know this isn't a lot, but like we've scored 10 points. I think.
yeah, that's really not helping your case.
no, but I'm saying
And
is
9 of them were in garbage time against mine.
no, not true. So
yeah, I keep going.
we, in my opinion, every single time Gabe's not on the field, instead of us just going down the field and scoring, it becomes a slugfest because we still play good defense and get the frisbee back when Gabe's not on the field. It's just we can't score. And so it's not like Gabe's out for a long time, so I feel like that's not an effective strategy to beat us, is what I'm saying.
Go assist with Gabe too.
Yeah, well, hold on.
So you're saying that what Dan should do is let Gabe do whatever he wants? You think that's a better strategy?
No, I just think that just shutting down Gabe is not enough of a...
So Gabe has scored 31% of your 30% of your points.
What about with us? What about Assists.
I mean, assists is way more than 30.
Assists.
Gabe has affected over 50% of your
Yeah,
Yeah.
So shutting down Gabe.
But, okay,
So,
but
when
I
Scott
can,
says-
I can say the same thing about Kevin's team and Johnny. I feel like.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
but we're not talking about this.
I mean, if you want to
Now, so Scott says you win 18-12, take away 50% of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair
Fair enough.
enough.
What's the
Yeah,
score?
yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Gabe scored 30% of your things and then assisted in 68%.
I said it would be by 50, so I changed my guess to
Back to
58, 8.
So 80% of their points goes through Gabe.
You'd have to do it like
Yeah.
differently, but
Yeah.
it'd be a little like, probably like
70
60,
something.
70, but yeah.
So it's a good amount of your points end up going through Gabe. So you end up shutting him down.
fair enough. Fair
Your
point.
offense runs into a lot of issues.
Fair point.
So,
Not ours.
well, he does generate 73 Ds, so.
That's plus or minus.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, 25. But
I'm like,
I say 73.
regardless, 25 is a
10 Ds a game.
Well, I don't think we'll get a ton of D's against Dan's team.
Yeah, he won't.
Gabe gets D's because people have that like other sport mentality. Let me throw it to my man, and Gabe's close enough he can lay out and get D's and stuff. Wow, and if I actually put it into space, it just takes away the opportunity for those D's to even happen.
I have the most turns on our team. Holy crap.
All right. Mike, you're up.
Sorry.
Get it, Mike.
Oh, Gabe's team wins like
Thank you.
17 to like 11.
I like it. That's right. I like being an underdog, but we're not an underdog in this situation. So I'm
No?
gonna pick against my team.
Wow. The mental gymnastics to get to that is wild.
Gabe by 60.
Josh, you want me to switch it so you can go with your team?
No. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're gonna win.
You have any sort of goal this week? Like, not
Yeah, run to the disc and don't let Gabe touch the disc. Through me.
Okay.
Type deal. He did that a lot last game, and then I fixed that for all the other games. But
How many times do you think you're going to cover Gabe?
probably not a lot.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be Elliot or Tony, I would assume. If I was a guessing man.
Fair. All right. We'll do bets after. So what's the second one? That was Pat.
Pat
Pat
and
Scott. Pat
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah, Pascal. We'll have to see if Wojo comes back. I think he probably won't.
Yeah, I would assume he wouldn't.
He was talking about it this last week when I saw him on Saturday, so maybe. But
Maybe
it's probably in his own personal best interest.
not to yet. But he has had like what?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Four concussions.
Yeah, he's had. Yeah, he said that his head feels fine. He's not like foggy or anything. He just has like headaches and stuff, which is still not great.
Still, yeah, no, not something you want.
But he said his knee's fine. I think that's the thing he was more worried about. Like,
Yeah.
Frisbee's not a contact sport. He's not going back to playing football where, like, first day of practice, okay, he's
get
the
rocked.
fullback. It's his job to deliver blows again. He's going back to Frisbee where maybe he'll get hit that hard again once in 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's true. And he can
It's
just,
not worth it.
Yeah.
well, and he can just not run into a wall.
Yeah, well,
He has that
you could,
choice
you
not
could
to,
do
so.
that.
How do you think
No,
Gabe's
well,
gonna
maybe. What?
How
How
do
do I
you
think
think-
the game to do? I think that my team is pretty solid at playing against poach defense. Like players sitting in lanes, leaving guys open, giving us those constant resets, and that's kind of what Pat's team does. They do like bend, don't break, give lots of unders, and then just kind of clog in the end zone. And
Good.
I think that my team deals well with that. We had a hard time with Gabe's team because Gabe's team is like strict man. Like if you're playing against Gabe's team, you have to make a move and like actually make your man miss. And my team hasn't quite
understood how to do that?
understood how to do that up to this point. But with the poacher team, a lot of time you can just hit the open guy and continue moving.
So, two things on that. One, with the end zone, Pat's team clogging it up. During our game, he was like, man, like that happened like several times where they were just like right on the end zone. Everyone was just like right where it needs to be. And he was talking to me doing. He's like, we gotta clear this up. So I heard him like at halftime and stuff, like talking about like we've got to come up with like an end zone and like all these things. So that's probably like first or second on the list of things to do this week.
So I don't mean for their team. I mean like when we're on offense against them. Because I trust my team's defense enough. Like our problem, if we're gonna lose badly, is gonna be with turning the disc over and making bad decisions. We're gonna get enough B's just by virtue of having Ryan, Dustin, like Joey, and Mike on the team. That we're going to get our share of opportunities on offense. I'm more worried about us going down the field and scoring.
Yeah. No, okay. That makes sense. My second thing was with making it like creating your own space, like you were saying, where you have to, like, if they're strict man, if they're ready for it, I would suggest throwing in the concept of setting up your cuts. So by that I mean like
Drawing your
like,
defender away from where they want to go.
Yeah.
but specifically like making like a cut that's one direction and then changing
With
into
the
the other.
intention of coming.
Yeah, exactly. Or more specifically, this is for everybody, running directly at your defender.
Yeah.
Like, I will run you over if you don't move. That type of mentality.
Put them on their heels.
Puts them on their heels,
Yeah.
and as soon as they're on their heels, you go wherever you want.
Over winter break, my team got together and we just threw for like an hour, but for like the last 15 minutes we did break mark through. And it went pretty well while we were doing it, but like I just want to get us into actually doing that in a game.
Yeah,
That's kind of where, because when you're in a game, you're playing like so much stuff is happening. It's hard to remember. Okay, like 3 steps, jab underneath, kind of a thing.
Right.
I know what I'm doing against TJ now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
3 steps,
Yeah.
jab underneath.
No.
Is it running directly at me? Putting me on the heels?
Yeah.
Because I know how to defend against it.
Score, I think that if my team wins, it will be a larger margin of victory than expected. I think it'll be
I know what you
14-10.
14-10?
14-10.
Okay.
Last time, if I remember, it was a coin flip for who won.
Yeah.
And there are some definitely issues with just bad turns on your team. So I feel like if you clean that up, easy win for you.
Hopefully. That's the dream.
As
I
long
should say
as,
easy. I should say more than a coin flip.
I think Scott has the better team. I just think that based on how they played last week, not that you guys played bad, but still made some of the same simple mistakes that you guys have been making, I think Pat's going to win. I say 16-14, Pat.
So you're saying you think Scott's team's better than Pat's team?
I think Scott, if you look at person to person, I think Scott has such a better I think Scott has the best team in the league, personally.
I got a lot of pickup kings. I'm really all about like getting us to like work into a system and like trust each other.
Like,
Trust him, Mike.
always.
like every single time we've played Scott, I have been shocked that we did as well as we did. But then as I watch the videos, it's not that we did good defense, it's that they threw it away. Like, Scott lost every single game against us, in my opinion. Like, so
better.
that's why I think Pat's gonna win because I don't think Scott's team has cleaned up their act yet. So
All right.
That's a fair assessment. All right, Dan, you're up.
Who's playing?
Scott.
Scott and
Pat.
Pat.
I think that hinges on Joey.
Really?
Yeah, I think. So the way Joe functioned in our game prior, I think he played well, and I think the biggest thing is Joe needs to embrace the break side. In that, like, I haven't seen a lot of it throughout the season. In that, your team has the full ability to outperform everybody.
Yeah.
And if you give that slight benefit of being break side, granted, meaning you're giving your offense that tiny little edge of like, oh, we're on the right side of the force, and that I have first dibs on the disc. Joe has that ability to make those throws.
Yeah.
If Joe makes those throws, that could be huge.
Yeah.
So I think if Joey can really kind of like dial in that, like, I think he may like.
I do think he's the most important member of our offense.
I do think, yeah, exactly. In that, I think he only had like one successful hammer in our game.
Yeah.
But
The fact that he can do
the
that,
presence
like,
of it, yes.
If he does that once in a game, then we get every under for free the entire rest.
Yeah, it absolutely. It creates a presence. Yeah. And so I think that's very important.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought you were like totally like if he does good. it'll be good
Believe it
if
or
he's
not,
his
I
back.
actually think about things
Well,
every once in a while.
It's sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I have a very in-depth thought process
Yeah.
about things.
Blind squirrel, broken clock, all that. But what's your score?
So I would like to see Pat's team win, but I'm gonna take Scott's team by 1 or 2.
Okay.
In a relatively low scoring game, maybe like 14-13, around there. 15-13 kind of deal.
All right. I have the exact opposite. I think I would like to see Scott's team win because they're underdogs, and I would love the top 3 teams to be me, you, and Scott. That would be fantastic. But but I think Pat's team's gonna win. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a hot take, but I think Pat's team's the best in the league now. So it's gonna be real tough, and I think after last week they kind of understood that they have things to work on because we gave them a fight. So I think they're gonna come out being like, all right, we got to take care of business. So I think that Pat's gonna continue like he did this past week to still get assists. I don't think he's gonna try to back off from that too much. Allison's still super hungry, wants to beat Gabe. Wojo might be back. Shannock's been improving to the point where he's able to throw lefty consistently on both sides of his body. Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough matchup-wise for you guys because it is one thing you have going for you, Scott, is your team is like the hardest to match up on, like we're saying, where it's just a bunch of very solid players. But I think that the sort of X factor that like Pat, Wojo, and Allison have will make up for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it'll be a good game, though, for sure. I mean, that's what all these are saying. I think this will be a good game. So I'm going Pat by 4, and it's going to be decently high scoring, 16-12. Okay.
This game is gonna be. I watched the last game against them and took stats and all that, and it was both teams did things very, very well on both sides of the disc.
Was it close last time?
It was 1 point. Universe.
It was Universe 16.
Oh,
Universe points. I think overtime too.
Nice.
Wow.
Universe point in overtime. I think it's the only game that has gone to overtime. But anyway, I want to see Scott come out as the victor, but I also think Pat is probably going to come out as the victor, though. Just even with the coin flip still, I think Wojo and just if Dennis and D-Bomb still do the same thing they did last time, where just take off as soon as a turn happens and it's just a good throw from Pat to the end zone.
Well, that's the scary thing about their team is how quickly they turn around after.
They transition very fast.
They're such an explosive team.
And your team does not transition fast at all.
What's your score?
I think it's going to be Universe again, to be honest.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's going to be a coin flip between the teams, but I think Pat's going to end up taking it again. By 1, I think it's going to be 14-13. I think that's exactly what it was last time.
Damn. All right. Mike?
I think it's going to be 13-11 Scott's team.
Ooh.
Because I think we're learning a lot, and I think that we really like the new side stacks, so I think that we're just pushing for another victory. And it was really close the first game. And I'm just excited to play that regardless.
Can I just take a second to fully express how dumb it was of me to run a host stack?
We know.
It's fine. But the issue is that I've never run a host stack before, so I was trying to teach a bunch of people who also have never run a host stack before how to run a host stack.
That's kind of the
I
beauty of
think
host stack, though. Is it's,
I think it's just more of that the field is absolutely tiny.
If we were playing fours, I would run a host stack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But we're not.
If we were playing fours instead of fives, I would run a host stack.
Okay.
yeah, it was all about
just
field
makes it
space.
too easy to run a hoe that way.
All right, Josh.
I think Scott's going to win this game.
So what do we got? 1, 2.
Scott's the favorite right now.
Yeah. Well, two. There are 2 Scott team members, so
Yeah, it's
gotta
obviously.
keep that in the thing.
Yeah.
But still,
No, I think Scott's team is going to win.
Hey, Pat's team could have showed up.
true.
They didn't.
You're right.
As long as they prevent the offense from running through Pat, which I don't know who you're going to have on Pat, but I think that they have the capabilities of doing that, and I think they'll win handily, like 15-10.
All right.
Yeah, it took me 45 minutes last game to like realize, oh wait a second, if I just stand between Pat and the disc, then he has to cut, and then they turn it over with me.
Yeah, like I'm just
We
from
can do that for the beginning.
from-
It'll be hard on them.
watching them and playing against them. That's pretty much all it is. Pat to Allison a lot.
Yeah.
Throwing the tall people.
So yeah, always
Oh,
throwing to his tall people. That's
Yeah.
100% all he does ever. Don't think anything otherwise. but all right, prime time. The battle of the Connollys, the battle of the Ehrenholtz. Sibling v sibling. It'll be fun.
What?
No, the other
You're
sibling
wrong.
battle was game 1.
Yeah.
The others.
Ah, you're so right. That sucks.
This is just the battle of the Connollys.
Yeah, well, good.
So that means we're gonna make them do all the work, right?
I'm in.
It's literally a 1v1.
We just don't even we stand out there, just stand out there. We
Maybe
just have
call it
two.
like a Spartan point where
Yeah.
the team just sits down and says,
You just run a deep drill with them. You send it.
That would be
And
fun.
whoever comes down with it is.
All right, if either of us are winning by like 10 or more, we're doing that. 100%.
How about this?
The Connollys are going
yeah,
deep, and we're
no,
just
no,
putting it up.
That's it.
Or
Just it.
if it's a universe point.
No, dude, that's very good. If I have the chance to win a game, I'm winning it. But yeah, if either of us are up by like literally 10 or more, we'll do that.
I'm fine with that.
That'll be super fun. But it's gonna be fun. I genuinely think if we played like we played last week against Pat's team, we will beat you. Because we played 2 halves and we played like the best we've played yet. So if we play like that or better, we have a very good chance.
Let
of
me
winning.
put it this way: Kevin's never lost to Pat. You still lost to Pat. You played as good as you played against Pat. It's still not good enough to beat Kevin because Kevin's never lost to Pat.
Right.
Logic.
But
I also have 2 really bad mismatches that can come into play.
in the
Very
first time
easily.
that we played Kevin, we came out hard in the first half and actually put up a really good fight against him.
What was the end result?
Yeah, they won. But this is what I'm saying is that game that we played against Kevin, we played 1 half really good, second half not. The game that we just played against Pat, we played 2 halves very good. So if we can play both halves very good, we'll beat Kevin.
I just know exactly how I'm going to play defense against TJ.
Like me specifically?
So
Oh,
if TJ
defense against me?
So if TJ is going to sprint at me to put me on my heels, I'm going to sprint at TJ. Put him on his heels.
Literally, first play, first point, we both have concussions.
I've never had a concussion in my life.
Me
You
either.
will.
Me either.
Okay.
See, here's where you lose: is that Kevin doesn't have enough brain cells. So when he clanks his head on something, it's just
There's a lot of
it
cushion
echoes
there.
in the void.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nothing but fine dining and breathing. Yeah, so for real, I think that if we play like we played last week, we have
I'm also
very...
calling you a chicken if you pull off first.
No. Wait, pull? No, we want to receive.
No, I'm talking about if we're running at each other.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'm also Super Saiyan. I'm just going to run through you. But...
This is actually, both of them are going to think like, oh, jokingly, I'm going to never stop running. And then they're both going to get hurt.
It's not a joke.
Alright.
Both down.
But yes, like I said, we play both halves very good, we win. And I think that that's going to be possible. I think that Matt is going to be a big help for us.
That's going to be a huge help.
The difference between the last game that we had together was we now have Matt, who's an improvement, and you now have Vince, who is not an improvement. But that is, like, in my mind, that is enough for me to make the second half possible to be good and therefore win.
I can agree with that.
So
What is score wise, TJ?
we'll go me and then skip me after. But I'll say we win 14-12. It's going to be mid-scoring, very close the entire time. Back and forth. No one's going to know who's going to win.
Has anyone ever gotten a prediction right?
Number-wise, maybe one or two, but
I think I did last week.
Like I'm not
I said you guys were
necessarily.
going to win by 3, and I think I said 13-10.
well,
I won the over bet on you versus Gabe.
So
Well, I'm more of just saying like
The numbers
as
exactly.
opposed to like, oh, this person wins the game.
the specific numbers, you mean?
I predicted Gabe would win by 6 or more. I think he won by 7 or 8.
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
like,
a
did you
specific
get the
number.
score?
I think I might have gotten mine versus Gabe's right, but that's about. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I said 14-11 or 13-10.
Higgy was right.
No, but it's probably been like one or two. But
Yeah.
but we've gotten a lot of this is how the game will go, and it goes that way. So
I,
a few of those.
as long as I can minimize you guys taking advantage of my mismatches.
You yourself?
No, my team.
Okay, well you said you.
Yeah,
that's a very-
I'm clearly a mismatch on Kevin.
That's a very Josh-esque statement. I, Kevin, will not let anyone score.
As long as I can minimize those mismatches, because there are mismatches and there is a lot of them. There's two really big mismatches. I can come out on top, but if I can't manage those well, I will. I don't think if I can't manage those well, it's gonna be a hard rest of the season.
Right.
It's gonna be all about managing my players as more than really managing the field right now.
That's part of it too. Is I think our team right now has upward momentum, and I think your team has downward momentum. So we'll see. That could change in a week, obviously, but
I think if I can manage my team, I think I win by at least 2. If I can't manage my team, I lose by 2.
that was the camera. But
That we're in After Dark.
immediately. No.
All right, let me tell my story.
No. We got
I
time.
actually have an after dark question.
Ooh, we got time. We got
Yeah,
time.
maybe come up with it.
That timer also is like 10 minutes off because we shit talked a lot in the beginning. But cool. Scott, what do you think? Kevin Pat.
Kevin TJ. Thank you for telling me, so I definitely zoned out there. I think, like, I don't see any way that TJ doesn't win. Maybe I'm giving a little bit too much respect to Mark. The new guy, Matt Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
I have a hard time believing that Kevin's team is going to be able to guard like 4 very solid players for 50 whole minutes. I think there very well could be some gas tank issues towards the end because I think him and Paul and a couple of the other players do get tired towards the end of the game, which might be difficult. So you have to, I don't know, do some load management out there. But
Oh, if it changes anything, there's a like medium to high chance that Paul's out actually this week. He kind of wrecked his knee, but
sure.
but he
Um,
wants to play
when?
very much. I think he said during the
Disc
game,
golf?
but then he went disc golfing and then shoveled a bunch. So it was like kind of an injury and then aggravate to aggravate.
Okay,
So-
well,
But
assuming Paul's in, I think TJ's team's going to take it. I think it's going to be convincing, but not huge. 16-12.
Okay.
Not 16, that's too many. 14-10.
16 would be 4 more than we've ever scored.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could happen this week, so we'll see.
Sammy?
Say Kevin wins. I just don't think. And I don't know. Once again I don't know the game as much as you guys. I just don't see you guys having the answers to the if Kevin's team was trying new things in that game and we barely we scraped by that game kind of. Don't get me wrong, our team played great, but we still only got 50% of the up throws to Johnny. And I don't see Paul was in my mind your only answer because he had the height, but now that you don't have that, I don't see. Or if you don't have that, then I don't see. But I think it's going to be
Matt's a good counter to Joey.
I'll sub for Paul.
No.
Okay.
But also, I don't remember ever. I don't.
Captains
Ever,
can't sub.
did Matt come to Summer League a lot?
He did.
Yes.
Every other week, every third week. He was
enough,
there pretty
yeah.
frequently.
I
probably 6 times over the summer.
Okay, because I don't remember ever seeing him play. But in my mind, I think it's going to be a slug match. I think Kevin wins. I honestly think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think Kevin wins 17-16.
Oof.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, it would be fun for me. I
think it's going to be a very high scoring game.
All right. I hope so.
Dan?
Okay, great. What you got, Dan?
Dan?
Other than your phone. What's your prediction?
I don't think Kevin wins a single game the rest of the season.
Okay.
Under the guise of I'm getting ready for playoffs.
That'll be a bet.
I mean, he doesn't. That 1 seed's pretty important. Or 1 or 2 seed's pretty important.
1 or 2.
Uh,
I mean, I'm in though.
no, I lied. So TJ seems absolute freelo. So Kev wins.
Wow.
I think he wins by 5.
2 sides of a coin.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
Mike.
Good, Mike.
I don't know. This one looks like it's going to be tough for either team, and I can see it honestly going either way.
If I still have Higgy, what would you say?
That actually does change it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. If you still had Higgy and I still had Troy, it would be a different situation.
No, I was just talking about me starting Higgy. You still having Matt and me having Higgy, what it would go.
Yeah. Score? Any predictions of how it'll go?
I'm gonna say that TJ takes it only because you guys did play just way better than Kevin's team last week. So
Fair.
yeah, I'll just say 14-12 TJ.
That's exactly mine. I hope we're right.
Whoa.
Josh.
I say that your team picks on Kevin's mismatches and you guys end up winning probably 15-11.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that will definitely be part of it. I don't think we're gonna
I totally forgot that Palms was on your team.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Wait.
There's a lot of
Right.
mismatches.
Can I change my opinion?
There are a ton of mismatches.
I say TJ wins 16-13.
Okay.
I just think Kevin's going to have a hard time making sure that there's only one mismatch on the field at one time.
It's going to
compared
be
to
almost
two.
impossible.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, yeah. We'll see. Cool. What is this?
Oh, this is me signaling Kevin.
Nice.
What?
Just remind me later to talk to you about Thor.
Cool. So.
Okay.
Do we have any announcements? I think we're all good.
Yeah,
as far as
we
that
changed the
goes.
schedule. Moving forward through to the end of the season.
What time is
Just
it?
another reminder.
No.
Just another reminder that we have added a 13th week to March 3rd, I believe.
True. Yep.
That will be our 2 fun games in the championship. And then after that, either the Friday, the very next day, or Saturday will be our end of season banquet / get together / extravaganza / rager. We still got a bunch of details to plan for that, location, time, all that kind of thing. But we'll have the official award ceremony, and we'll do some individual awards and stuff too. So it should be a good time.
Absolutely don't want to get people's hopes up, but possible Chick-fil-A catering. So
That has been mentioned by
By-
the god of Chick-fil-A himself, Daniel Baumgartner.
Oh.
an owner of
Not
Not-
manager.
an operator
He's the
of
so-
a Chick-fil-A.
yeah, he's the operator.
He's on his way.
Yeah, an operator of a
He
Chick-fil-A.
will be an owner.
Loves Chick-fil-A.
So, very real, but not confirmed. So no hopes yet.
Yeah.
But
After dark.
Well, we want to talk about bets a little bit though.
yes, that's
anyone
true.
have-
We haven't made like good fun bets in the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, so I want to make
Yeah.
last 2 weeks. This was 3 weeks ago.
Oh, was it?
Well, the bet was 3 weeks ago. It got concluded, and then 2 weeks ago now. But- I think the Dan. Who is it? Dan Gabe.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun one to bet on.
I'm not bad on that one.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
because it's fun because it's gonna pay well. You know what I mean?
I'll bet on TJ. I'll bet TJ's gonna win.
I mean, I'll
Put
bet
a
on
beer on
myself
that.
for damn sure.
I'll put a beer on that.
Wait.
That's the other.
Opposite.
You think Kevin's gonna win?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. One other thing, bet that Dan and I made before we started recording. We bet that I would dunk a basketball by the time I'm 30.
True.
No,
Right.
when you are 30.
Oh, I thought it was when. Okay, that's
So
fine.
by the time you're 31,
Yes.
is
How old
Okay.
are you?
But
24.
You could do that.
he's got
6 years.
7 years to dunk.
I also can't do it now, so
That's your 6 years.
yeah,
Can you
that's
touch
plenty
the
of time
rim?
to get my vert up.
Well, wait.
I can touch it.
All right, yeah, you'll
I'm
be able to
like, I'm
dunk.
6'2".
Yeah,
Did,
you'll be able to dunk.
did Dan clarify what hoop?
No, like a
That's a good point. I could get a little tight suit.
Yeah, you could scum me, but
I'm not good at it. I'll beer.
yeah,
it's
think
obvious, yeah.
about the pride.
It's 1 year, 6 years from now.
Exactly.
I love that it was just a beer.
Are we up? Is everyone okay kind of running over 2 hours a little bit
Yeah.
on this one?
This isn't like I was saying. We talked a lot in the beginning. So
Well,
there's-
regardless, because
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
No,
fun.
Totally.
I got some discussion points in a story that I feel like I
Needs
want
to
to
be
tell.
Absolutely.
I have an after dark question.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I want
Uh,
to people.
yeah.
Are there any specific bets though that people are like feeling? I like. I want to do something with Dan Gabe because I want to bet on Dan because I
Gage
need
team by 7.
Okay, so meaning if they
Win and or lose by 7.
No. So if Gabe's team, I'll put a beer or two or whatever on. I think Gabe's team is going to win by 7 points or more than 7 points.
okay, I'll 2.
2.
Then it's
I'll take that as well.
then it's-
if you're allowing it.
Yeah, dude.
so 6 or
You're
under.
gonna get out there and you're gonna think, "Oh shit, I'm gonna lose my bet," and you start boosting it straight to Elliot.
Straight down. No. So 6 or under. Dan and I get 2. Well, anyone else on either side of this. So we each get 2, and then if it's 7 or more, we give you 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you could possibly get 4.
Here you go.
Okay.
Dan's team's gonna be down by 6, and Dan's gonna be like, guys, listen.
Need to get drunk at.
cannot give up another point.
I also I need to start cashing in on some of my.
Yeah, I need to
beers.
figure out
Yep.
who I owe
So-
beers to.
One comes off of mine.
The way this works, beers 1 that stays concurrent throughout the whole season, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not like
No.
Scott has 6 beers he can cash in on.
No.
No, I think I do have 5 though. I think only TJ's.
I've done the
paid out
first 2
5.
weeks of mine, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
I
whatever.
definitely bought you a beer in the past
I owe 2. I just don't remember. who
month
I
or
owe
2.
Yeah.
Dan bought me a beer. That should be
I
gone
think
one.
I'm all cut off with all my bets
Or did you
outside
already
of
do that?
Pat
It doesn't
because Pat
drop, it
never
just
fucking
stays
comes to
the
the
whole
bar.
The beers owed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just stayed.
You just
away.
have to remember who you.
Guys,
what
I have a
happened.
question. How do we have less assists than touchdowns?
Bad
Subs.
stat keeping.
No, subs.
That and bad
Also
stat
bad
keeping.
thing.
Yeah, also base, but it's mostly subs.
Also, because I don't think Gabe is the only sub Gabe stat is Christina. Gabe hasn't had a sub.
I
other
think
than
that's
that.
true.
Okay. Well,
So
then,
bad
yeah,
stat
then that's
checking.
bad stats.
Yeah.
But most of them are subs because we just don't put subs. in
Damn,
there.
We also have
and
bad
what
stat
do
taking.
what are you basing it on?
Gabe's
That
TDs are
totals?
116,
Yeah,
and Gabe's
116,
total
112.
assists are 112.
116, 112.
Oh,
Bad stat keeping.
yeah.
For yours,
The
yeah. 'cause
stat,
you don't
like,
have-
How does he have 2 more assists than points? I guess subs, yeah. Subs
yeah.
make sense. Okay.
Blame
But-
Josh.
I really
No.
am like. I'm starting to really dislike the stats just because of how inaccurate they are with some of the stuff. Like fully half of the game last week. Fully half
Wait,
of the
someone
turns
go in
drops
there and
were
give me
not counted
3
in my
Ds
game.
right now.
No.
3?
Yes! I have 3 absolute
All right.
smack jobs
All right.
on film.
Gifts,
the
give them
only-
into the Discord.
Walshy won 48 beers.
No,
All right, those are questions so far because if I end up last,
Oh,
in
the
league-
cases.
Well,
Yeah.
we still have to.
Oh.
You still have to reconvene and discuss that.
That's true, that
Since
might
it
change.
is
Let's
wrong.
just do that Thursday. Do that Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat and Walsh
Yeah,
will both
yeah.
be there.
That's
But if you're getting all your Ds, you're sure as hell getting all your throwaways too.
Go for it. I mean,
Okay.
So that means dog shit to me.
Oh, you
that's
just, okay.
no, that is the thing.
Because
about
in my mind, I can say, God, my team's dog shit dropping all my throws. Whereas my Ds is just people being lazy. Like I can blame my throwaways on stuff. My D's not being on there, that's just like Josh being a wiener.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you
Like
when
when I
it's not your.
when I throw that push pass to the back of the end zone to
Yeah.
nobody, I can be like, God damn it,
Why
Higgy.
wasn't somebody? I had one of those during the game. It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, but that's the thing with stats too is they're fun. They're not meant to be like
Perfect.
we know that it's just us looking at the games trying to record things.
I'm
Like,
not having fun.
It's then don't look at them.
A lot of times people do start like, oh, let's delve into the stats to see how this game went, and that means jack shit.
Pretty much. There is helpfulness to it.
I
but
think it's close enough though to where
Yeah.
I think that the assists and points are close enough, but the turns,
Turns,
drops,
drops,
and Ds are just all over the place.
which is fine. I just need to see who's throwing the disc and who's catching the disc.
Sure.
My
That's-
drops are actually accurate.
I
Only ever
definitely
had one this
think.
season.
I definitely think if you're doing stats, go through the assists and goals and make sure they line
Add
up.
up.
Because if they don't,
Yeah.
you miss something, bud.
I do that I've only done it twice, but I do it like 3 times during the game.
All right, Kevin, ask your question.
We're in After Dark.
So this came up with Dan talking about giving his team boner pills.
Excellent.
All right,
Yeah.
I like the lead in.
What happens
Called marital aids.
if you give a woman a boner pill?
Her blood flow increases, but that's it.
That's it.
Enlarged clitoris.
Like,
No,
I don't think it targets.
Does something happen?
I do think it like increases like testosterone or like
Yeah.
gives them more energy or something, but it doesn't
To the internet.
like. I think
Yo,
that's it.
I am
Just Google
I
it.
am feeding mad. Pills on pills on pills.
I'm pretty sure all that occurs is vasodilation
Woo-hoo.
and
We're going fancy in here. Go for it.
increased heart rate. That's all that happens.
Yeah,
For sure.
hit me with it, Mr. Fireman.
Well, no, we one of the questions we have to ask every single
we
guy.
gotta interview.
We gotta.
Sam,
I feel
too.
like we have to do that quick. Rapid
Yeah.
fire. Ready?
Real quick.
Did you go to school? If you did, what was your major? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
All right, no one cares. No one cares. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Went to school at Akron, got my fire. Went to school at UH Parma, got my EMT. Currently in medic school right now. I'll be graduating in August.
Congratulations.
What does medic school entail? What is that like?
It's 120 credit hours.
Damn. Okay. That's like a full major almost. It's a little less, but not much.
I'm 3 classes, or no, not 120. It's 60 credit hours.
Okay.
I'm graduating with an associate's, just having fire,
Yeah.
EMT, and
'Cause
paramedics.
that's-
But in 10 years, hopefully on a plot of land that is at least 5 acres.
In what state?
Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Having married at least, hopefully. Maybe having my first kid.
That was
Second
wait.
kid.
That was 5 or that was 10.
That was 10.
That was
Okay.
10.
I missed 5.
Did you buy your wife?
Yes, actually. My
Where's
girlfriend
she
now is
from?
actually bought from
Where's she
Russia.
Right. Oh, nice. Hope you got a good discount.
Yeah. No, but
Is she a spy?
actually, yeah.
Ooh.
You,
I'm
real, you realize
actually-
there's like some real tension going on in the Ukraine border and
Uh-huh,
such.
yeah.
She
I
back.
think we're in Ohio.
Yeah, we're
She's
getting a
Black
little
Widow.
political here for After Dark.
She's a Black Widow. But all right.
5 years. I'm currently right now just planning on banking up as much money as possible so I can buy said land, but probably working my butt off. My plan is for the next 2 years after I graduate paramedic school, working like 120 hours a week.
I respect that.
120.
Work hard while you're young.
Oh well, yeah,
It's
but
Really easy for firemen.
For firemen, because like if I work at 24, I'm not necessarily obviously working that full time.
Okay.
I'll probably be asleep for 4 hours at night, get up, do a call, come back for 4 hours,
Okay.
and then
That's fair.
Like
No.
firemen normally do from on a 24-hour shift, 8 to
9.
8 to 5, just normal stuff like cleaning and all that. Any calls or that. After that, you have like dinner. You make yourself dinner, and if no calls happen, you just have like
It's-
a quiet night.
that
doing whatever.
120 hours is very easy for a
Okay.
firefighter to get. But also at the same time though, the only thing that can suck is if you're working on a busy department. Like Twinsburg ran 19 calls in one day.
Mhm.
But then sometimes they ran 2 calls, so it's like completely hit or miss. But I'm hopefully going to be getting a full-time job on a fire department at least in 5 years, because I'm probably be working part-time until then.
What got you interested in like fire department?
I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was going to join the union, and like the union Gabe's in, the electrical union. But Gabe's dad said, "Hey, I can get you in," but like I thought I'm gonna get on my own merits. I don't need someone to get me in, and so I didn't tell him I was applying, and I didn't get it, and I got put on a waiting list. And I was working at Chick-fil-A with D-Bomb.
Wait, hold on. When
Yeah.
did you work there?
Huh?
What years did you work there?
19,
Okay.
20.
Missed you by 2 years. I worked there for 2 summers
Really?
with Debo.
Frank too?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
he wasn't there, but yeah.
Okay. My cousin was at a New Year's Eve party and absolutely hammered. And it was like, hey, I teach a fire class at Akron. You should totally do it if you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's $1,000. Just join it. And I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. When? He's like, oh, it starts in 2 days.
Right now.
And I was like, he's like, if you give me the money tomorrow, I'll get you in the class. So I did, got in the class, went through fire school, loved it, thought I was done, then found out I had to go to paramedic school, EMT and paramedic school to get a job. So then I went and did that, and I mean, I love it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm a little traumatized from an autopsy.
Woof. Wait, like you had to like watch or?
Well, yeah, you have to watch.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, when you take a brain out of a skull, it sounds like this. Oh, crap. I just cracked my knuckles. It sounds like you're cracking your knuckles.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because the fascia that connects your brain to your skull is ripping.
Oh.
And so I had to watch someone get their face peeled back. They
Nice.
drilled open their skull. Also, you skin a person the same way you fillet a fish.
Ugh.
You come right down the breastbone, and then you take your scalpel and you run it right along the rib cage.
Lovely.
I love watching those videos of people who are like mega efficient at it. Just,
No, I've seen videos, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be bad. But when you're in person...
I'm not talking about humans. I'm talking about fish.
Oh!
I'm not sitting watching humans get diced up.
But
well, you're on the league villains.
so yeah,
Yeah, okay. That's fun.
All right.
What, do you have any like wild, like crazy stories from it, or like fulfilling stories, or anything?
from
Yeah, you ever pull a damsel in distress out of a fire?
Yeah, rescue a cat from a tree.
no, everyone asks me. I haven't yet, which is annoying. We skinned a deer in a hose tower.
That sounds so white trash. Just not like
But cool rescue story. Like they always talk about like you go to CPR training, and like 29-year-old came in OD, brought in by North Royalton Fire, and like they talk about CPR, like you talk about like rescue breaths and like doing like bagging someone, and like giving them medications and different things like that to keep, like give them the best chance of surviving. And like actually doing that was super cool, and I got to help a doctor put a chest tube in. I'm not allowed to say I did it myself because that's illegal, but like it's really weird stabbing a person because you're like, this isn't right, and you're just cutting them open. But
It helps.
I also got to watch a debriding, which is basically like when necrosis takes over a certain part of your body, doctors have to go in and like cut up all the dead skin.
Mhm.
So I got to sit there. Also, literally the worst smell I've ever smelled in my entire life.
Believe that.
was the body embalmed? Or...
This person
It
was
like
live.
alive. Yeah.
Oh.
People suffer from pressure wounds when they stay in hospital beds too long, and so like they like introducing no butt. Like this person had no butt anymore.
Interesting.
Like we're just sitting there scooping it out.
Rough.
Yeah, but I mean, Okay, it sounds disgusting, but it's really cool and interesting. And
Yeah, no, for sure.
I would highly recommend it. Also, kind of banking on that pension.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely helpful. All right, well, I learned a couple things. That's good. If anybody's super interested on the what happens when you give a woman Viagra question, I did look up the answer. And
CJ Googled it.
of course. Viagra is thought to raise blood flow to the genitals, so there's more sensitivity and stimulation. Studies have shown that Viagra may provide a benefit for women having difficulty with sexual arousal, since it may help them respond better to stimulation. But
Interesting.
we were basically right. It's just blood flow, so
Cool.
more blood flow,
And it makes
more help. But cool. So Dan had a story.
Oh, brother.
I thought you had a scenario and a story.
Both.
Hypothetically.
I know what the story is already.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
the story is too.
Is it good?
What was the other thing I wanted to talk about?
Thor. Remind me about Thor.
Well,
That's outside of the, unless people want to hear me talk about disc golf, which that's an outside realm. But so I found myself in a spot in my life of where so I'm just trying to keep busy and keep myself occupied, and so I'm trying to hang out with people.
I'm gonna let you know the bar is not a good spot for this.
Yeah. Well, what do you? So you meet people, right? A lot, and that's not.
Call Mike Long. Don't go to the bar by yourself.
I don't know
Call
why.
Mike.
I don't know why I didn't call Mike Long.
He would have been asleep.
But so I go up.
Make him call you from now on.
So I go up to the seasons up in Northfield Village, right?
Did you get arrested?
Really
No.
shitty bar. Never go there.
And so I'm just up there, and because I'm drinking, and then this guy sits down next to me.
I have a question.
Ah.
Why'd you go to Seasons?
Because I haven't been there in a long time, and I was like, I want to go somewhere different.
Cool.
Because I didn't want to go to Beer and Belly by myself, because that feels kind of sad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like going to Mark's. I don't know.
All right, fair. But guy sits down.
Yeah, so this dude sits down, and we're just shooting the shit, typical bar stuff, and then he starts buying me shots. I'm like, I'm feeling really pampered. I feel like a pretty lady. I feel desired. The thought runs through my head. I'm like,
That might be purposeful.
I'm like, this dude's gay, but you know what? I won't sleep with him, but I'm kind of into it. I feel
fully taking advantage of another human being.
I feel pampered,
Pat said it last week. It's nice to have a sugar daddy. So.
And so, we're just talking about life things, and he's talking about his fiance. He's getting married in the next couple months, and then
Dan knows he's not gay now.
There you go.
yeah, and I'm like,
And he's
oh,
not
Not necessarily.
Oh, good point.
I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And he's talking because he's like an insurance rep, and he's talking about all these cool deals he's making. And he's got all these plans for his fiance. I'm like, oh, I'm glad things are going good for you, man. He's like, yeah, you're a pretty cool dude yourself, because I talked about how we started this frisbee league and stuff, and we got all this cool shit going on, and life's awesome, cool. I'm glad I'm alive, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's like, you should come and meet my fiance. And I'm like,
Oh.
and so my mind, it kind of jumps to this guy's been buying me shots, and he's kind of talking
He's
me
trying
up.
to kidnap me.
Well, no, I'm a horny motherfucker. And so it's like, oh, this guy wants me to sleep with him and his fiance.
yeah.
And so, he sends me, he's like, here, he texts me the address. He's like, let's go back to my place. I'm like, dope. And so I drive all the way out to Parma Heights.
Dan's probably
fact
drunk
that you,
too.
How many shots in are you driving up to Parma Heights?
4 or 5.
The fact that you pursued this is honestly admirable.
No, it's bad.
It's terrible.
Straight bad.
Yeah, it's terrible advice, but wow. All right, keep going.
That's my male privilege kind of seeming.
Exactly.
And so I get there, And you know, we go inside and we're walking through, and he's on the 4th floor, and we're walking through this hallway, and like he's like, oh yeah,
Fourth
no.
floor?
Like apartment, right?
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's an apartment complex.
I thought you got a mansion.
I think it's right by Tri-C. It's called. I
Dan's
think,
actually getting his
I
sugar
think it's called like the Vineyard or something.
Okay.
Oh, that's a really bad. It's
And
not a good area.
and so like, you know, he's like, oh yeah, no, this is gonna be really cool. I think she'll like it a lot. And then like he opens the door, and the door swings open, and there's 15, 20 people in this apartment. Like
no.
it's packed full, and all these people are like, I don't want to call them bathrobes, but all these people are dressed in the same like kind of garments.
What?
And
What were the garments look like?
it looked like bathrobes, but like
Bathrobes.
yeah, I'll call them bathrobes.
Like satin robes. Like what Hugh Hefner wears.
Yeah, and it was just like this kind of like dull green bathrobes, and I'm just like,
Did he offer you one?
well, no, because like, you know, we get in and like we walk to the kitchen, and you know, I'm like, oh, hey guys, what's going on? and like he's
So
like,
he
oh,
offered you a robe and said you can undress in the room over there?
no, because he's like, do you want a shot of something? I'm like, yeah, I'll take whatever you got. And so he pours me a shot, and like I didn't take the shot because at this point I'm like, something's weird.
This is when you. Okay, so now I know where your line is. 15 dudes in bathrobes is the. Okay, maybe something's wrong.
And so like I literally told the dude, I'm like, because like I'm looking around, and all these people are wearing is these bathrobes, and I'm like, I forgot something in my car, man.
You didn't even ask a question like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no. Because now we're never going to
And
know.
I was like, can you buzz me in like 2 minutes? I'm gonna go run to my car. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And so I walk out, and I send Kevin and Mike and Higgy a snap of me like walking through this fucking. It looks like The Shining kind of hallway.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, dude, where the fuck am I?
And just to be clear, like you messaged, I didn't see the Snapchat, but I saw the message you sent afterwards. This all happened before 10 p.m.
Yeah.
This is not like a late night excursion. This was 10 p.m. Dan was at his house going like, what the fuck was that?
Yes.
So this is all these events transpired at like 8:45.
I was hoping.
I was thinking, like,
you didn't
2
go back, right?
No, I didn't go back.
That would be the assumption.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And
you
so-
walked into the room where everyone was wearing bathrobes.
Yeah, and so like, I send that snap and I like book it to my car, and like, I'm thinking like the assumption is either I walked into an orgy that was about to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Was it just guys, or was it? Like,
No, it was a pretty relative distribution of like
Okay.
men and women.
That's almost definitely what it was then. But
Yeah, or I was like, I almost just got like indoctrinated into a cult.
like Scientology, yeah.
Or you're about to be a human sacrifice for a cult.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie The Wicker Man?
No.
It's literally girls and guys will go out and get people and bring them back, and they'll sacrifice them.
Yeah, no, that dude buttered me up good.
So you're gonna go back to seasons next round?
Yeah.
See if you can run
See if he's there.
Here's the play though. I take the drinks and then I don't follow it.
Or how about this? We send someone else, but everyone else follows. So in case things go south, they have backup.
All right, so for anyone who goes up to seasons, the dude's name is Brendan, or that's what he says his name was.
Sure.
Are we all going to seasons?
Yeah.
He's about I'd say he's probably like 5'10", kind of like lightish brown hair, shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Not like fat, but like kind of like thicker, chunky.
You're describing a very average
just,
dude right
just
now.
a dude that you'd see at a bar. But yeah.
I guess that's the whole.
That's the vibe of him, yeah.
That's probably why he's so good at luring people to his house.
Right, he's just a guy.
It's just like, well, what could this dude do to me, you know?
Yeah.
So like, pro tip: don't follow.
Why
someone
would
home
you
from the
ever
bar.
do that?
I don't know.
Wow.
Probably because Kevin's out playing Cleveland's Winter League. Higgy's bowling. No, Scott said he wouldn't drink beer out of a Frisbee with me that night.
Mike Long is free!
Mike Long was asleep at 7.
Mike Long was asleep.
So no one wanted to hang out, and I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll go get drunk.
You can come to Cleveland if you want.
That might be a better move next week.
You're fully welcome to just go drink at the bar in Cleveland and watch Frisbee happen.
I remembered what I wanted to talk about.
Perfect.
I need a poll from the people here.
Cool.
Did Kevin bail on me?
Okay.
Yes. You already told me the story, yes.
So,
All right. In my defense,
Let me lay the groundwork here, and I'm not gonna like over exaggerate it or anything. Earlier in the day, 6 people decided to go disc golfing, in which Kevin was
I
like,
bailed on that.
yes. Kevin openly
100%
said,
bails on
"I'm
that."
probably gonna bail on that," which is fine because you came out and you're like, "No, you know what? I'm not gonna show up," and that's fine. No big deal. You're saying I'm not gonna show up. This no big deal. Afterwards, I finished playing my round of disc golf, and I say in our card game.
Was
chat,
that after you, or was that?
It was
during the
after.
round?
It was after.
Oh.
I ask after the round. I say, would anyone want to play some cards tonight? Because like we like to play card games. And
I said yes.
Higgy didn't say anything. Kevin responds, "Yeah, I'd be down to play a little bit later, or like a little bit, just in general."
Yeah, I'd be down to play a little.
Like within a 10 to 15 minute span, I reply to Kevin. I say, "I just got home. When do you want to play?" 2.5 to 3 hours go by. Kevin doesn't say anything. And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I go on a little trek to like Target, Walmart to look for cards because a new set had just dropped, but nothing was in stock, so I was a little bummed out. And I call Kevin amidst this excursion to see like, "Are you home? I have my cards. I'm going to come over because you said you wanted to play."
This was at 5:45 when he called me. I was busy at 6. I had something to do at 6, so he said a little. When I meant a little, I meant like.
And so Kevin said, "Yeah, I'll hang out
The whole
virtually."
the biggest thing is
And then his excuse was that, "Oh, I don't check my phone."
so I was sitting there. I didn't get a notification on Discord of Dan saying I'm home. I'm ready to play. Like I didn't get a notification at all, so my phone was just still silent. My phone.
This is such a not. What are we doing here?
The point is, Kevin bailed on me twice in one day.
Like,
and it
I
rubbed me
didn't,
wrong.
this was the screen of my phone. I'm like, I looked at it. I'm like, all right, nothing yet from Dan.
Like,
Put it back down.
What is this?
Nothing yet
what are
from
we,
Dan,
what
put
are
it back
we doing
down.
here?
Dan
We're
just wants
like,
to
Kevin's
put
a-
Kevin on blast
Kevin's
for.
absolute fraud. Saying, "Hey, yeah, I'll hang out," and then
So I'm not gonna lie. So I probably should have reached out to Dan when I was like, okay, it's been like half an hour.
You can just
I
go
didn't
to
get
couples therapy. Like you don't have to do this here.
Or you guys can just go upstairs in TJ's bed.
Well, that's
Fuck
what
around.
that's what this is. They're on couches. It's couples therapy.
anything. But so, so like granted, I probably should have like reached out to Dan, but I didn't because I was waiting for him to reply. But I also didn't get a notification.
Oh,
It was just bad communication.
So I think the
It's
biggest
my
part that
thing.
rubbed me wrong was Kevin said
Thank you for
I
having
didn't
me,
bail on you.
everyone. I had a pleasure.
I didn't.
Yeah, if I
I'm
say
glad you
finally made it.
Yeah.
in my defense, I was still waiting.
Real quick, give
Reply,
me
but I just
your
didn't get a reply.
your read on the whole scenario. Did Kevin bail on me or not?
Yes, he did.
Okay. That's all
I
need
was
to hear.
sitting at home waiting for you to reply,
Especially
but
as-
I just didn't get anything. That was the whole issue.
The fact that you said, "Yeah, I'll hang out," and then went and did some other shit.
No, I literally sat at my house the entire time until 6 o'clock.
See, in my mind, it was a pity. Yeah, I'll hang out. Like, you're my,
pity.
because
But
if
I mean, you're
if
still saying you bailed. I'll take the pity. I don't give a shit whether it was pity or not. But like, you bailed on me either way.
I don't. Like, I was sitting at home not doing anything, waiting for like a call or something, but I didn't get one until 5:45.
Sammy, before you leave, I will leave you with this wonderful bit that I just found out during this. Look how satisfying this is. It fits.
No, drop it.
Like I wasn't gonna do that, but it fits like the air like goes. It's perfect.
Stuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll get out.
Tried
But you tried to pour it out. And there's water in there.
I didn't know there was water in it.
But yeah. I feel like that's probably solid. If any of that even stays in.
Mike, did he bail on me?
Mike's in the bathroom.
Mike's in the bathroom. Josh, did Kevin bail on you?
Mike the Vlog and something. Bye, everybody. Oh, shout out to our troops. Love you, Sean.